Ahoy hoy, I am Planetwalk, and welcome to another open debate. And let's see if any flat earthers can change my mind. And please actually try to use facts and logic to change my mind. Don't just be like, Earth is flat. And when I press you on it, be like, it just is. Perspective. You know. You see, I will change my mind if I'm offered evidence. That's one thing that a flat earther has yet to offer me, evidence. So, until they give me evidence, I'm not going to change my mind. Sorry. It's just how it is. And why is my internet not keeping... Do I need to Hold up. Do I need to restart my router? Please. Why didn't I not do a... Do I need to do a speed test? God damn it. What's the... I'm getting 7 megabits per second download. And what's my upload? Because it seems like I'm getting really choppy stream, probably. Oh gee! Why does this not come away? Alright. Alrighty, I am going to restart my router. I will be right back. God damn it. I should have done this before. Alright. I'll be back. And we should be back. Hopefully with a streaming bitrate that doesn't crash. Oh, shit. I had it on my phone. There we go. Finally. It's going too smoothly. Had to have issues. And I might as well I don't know if anyone's said anything in the chat. Got to reload a couple of pages. Because, you know, things weren't going too well when you have bitrate problems. I swear that it's due to me changing internet service ISP. I swear that this is what everything is due to. Because I never had streaming problems before I changed to ISP. I changed ISP and then I have streaming problems. Maybe the router that they gave me was crap, or maybe it's... Actually, that's probably it. Probably could be the router, right? Maybe the router that they gave me was crap, and to get the full use out of the ISP, I've got to buy a new router. Hope that's not the case, because that would be pretty shitty if it was, but... What can you do? Okay, so back to business. So yes, if flat earthers want to try and change my mind, you're more than welcome to. All you have to do is come on, and I'm just going to reload this. There we go, refresh cache. Current page, there we go. So yeah, you're more than welcome to come on and try and change my mind. Please try and use facts and logic. Don't just say, oh, perspective, black swan, thermodynamics. That's not an argument. Saying something like, if I don't know what an actual flat earth argument is, because otherwise I'd be a flat earther if I knew all the flat earth arguments that would convince me. But me saying something like, oh yeah, there's certain things like refraction, which is why we can sometimes see a little further on certain days. There's instances where there's also instances where things disappear bottom up, which is one of the big reasons why I think that the Earth is a globe. Those are actual arguments. I'm not saying perspective. I'm using facts and logic. So yeah, I don't know if we'll get any flat earthers though. So, you know, that's one of the things. Like, we had Gary in the chat earlier, but he just popped in to say his thing, and then yeah, and then left, because that seems to be what often happens. Well, you see, when it comes to what Gabriel Francesco Aguirre says, if the Earth was flat, why would the people change their mind with Galilei? Well, people thought that the Earth was round by the time of Galileo. They were all in agreement that the Earth was round. That's a huge misconception that not only globe earthers have, but flat earthers have. And to be fair, like, there are many globe earthers that go, yeah, it was round. People knew that it was round, but a lot of common people, I guess, not trying to be disparaging or anything, but a lot of people that are rather common haven't looked into this kind of thing. They just think, oh yeah, like, people thought the Earth was flat, and Galileo came along, and then he was burnt for being because he thought that the Earth was flat, and that's not actually the case. Because they thought that it was round. He just proposed that the Earth wasn't the center of the universe. Oh, and then we've got Joe King that says whispers, debunked Swan. Wait, I said debunked Swan. But for a second there I thought that you're a flat earther, because there's a lot of flat earthers that will say whispers black swan. And you know, it's one of them things where it's like, you know, that just because you find one black swan doesn't mean that all swans are now black. A black swan doesn't debunk the existence of a white swan. You know? Now, people can say, like, at best, when you find a black swan, that if you've found a black swan, you can say, oh, you know, most swans are, from the data we have, most swans are white, but there are some black swans. Okay, no way you're a flathead. Like, it'd be pretty bad being a flathead. because you know, I can kind of have a bit of sympathy for flat earthers. Yeah. Oh, we've got somebody in the chat wanting to join. Ahoy hoy, Bigger Agent Smith.
Hello, ahoy hoy, everyone.
How's it going?
It's good. I saw you were doing a live stream, and I decided to entertain your puny friends. I'm just playing. I came to just have a friendly debate about our perceptions of reality, and yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to put my headphones over a cable because they're currently under a cable. Should take 2 seconds. There we go. Alright, so the name of the stream is The Earth is a Globe, Change My Mind, and you're the only person that's coming on here, so what do you have for me?
Yeah, I think that's probably for... I want to start off with saying, yeah, there's a reason why people are not hating what do you call yourself, a globe earther? because in reality, this isn't like a real debate. It's more of like a popularity contest. Just because of the fact there's no moderators. I was trying to moderate your Discord last night, and everyone started attacking me and like focusing on how all my grammar is wrong instead of like the actual points that I was making.
Yeah, there's a few things to get to. So it is possible to change my mind. So it's not just a popularity contest. But the thing that you need is facts, evidence, and logic. That kind of stuff. I probably shouldn't use facts and logic, but I should probably say evidence more, because that's actually what I'm looking for, is evidence.
Yeah, well, you can have all the evidence, but if you're not like have a logical mind, all that stuff is just like nonsense, right? Technically.
Yeah, like I would actually agree with you. So I would like to think that I have a logical mind. I mean, a lot of what I think about is programming, which is very logical. So I like to think that I have a logical mind, but some people may disagree with me. So if you were to so generally it's evidence that I want, right? And if you're able to provide evidence for your claims, then you'll be able to change my mind.
Yeah.
That's
okay. I have a question for you that I was asking your Discord chat, and they seem to like have a real big problem comprehending what I'm saying.
Okay, what is that?
Okay. So it's not a question; it's a statement. I made a statement.
Okay.
Just saying, all great truths are paradoxical. Are you following me here, or do you disagree? Agree?
I don't see how all agreed truths can be paradoxical.
Okay, so and yeah, this is where the thought experiment begins. So I started off by saying there are examples that can be given, if not physical examples, at least verbal examples of what a paradox is. And you can give me an example, the only way you would not be able to give me a definition, an example of a contradiction. No, not a contradiction. Damn it, dude! I was talking about this all night.
So
I said all truth is paradoxical.
Yeah, you said that.
And how? Yeah, how? That's it. That's what I got to say. Damn it.
Did you have a bit of a brain fart and ran away on you, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that's my statement, though. All I'm saying is, you said how I gave the example that we're both living and dying simultaneously, and somehow I know you're gonna say something to disagree with me. How that's not true.
So it depends. So ultimately, a lot of these things depend on what you mean by living and dying. So generally by living, people mean that you're. So it could mean that your brain has activity, is what people mean by living. And if that's true, then yeah, you are alive. Now it depends what you. The question is, what do you mean by dying?
By dying in a state of slow decline that eventually leads to our death.
So, some people would agree with you. Now, this is really what we would have to define slow decline, because if
Can you give me any examples of anything living that that doesn't die, that doesn't grow old and die?
I wouldn't be able to give you any examples of anything that doesn't grow old and die. I know that there's some jellyfish that do live for a long time, but I'd assume that even they eventually die even if it's after thousands of years. But if things are in a state of decline, it doesn't... Like, not everything that's living is in a state of decline. So
Give me an example of what's living that's not in a state of entropy or decline.
So a thing that I'd say isn't in a state of decline is a person that's growing up. They're still growing.
Aren't they simultaneously walking towards their living but at the same time? Okay, well, see, this is the thing. Now you're arguing with me. What was your logical reason again for saying that the statement I made, which is we are both living and dying, is a paradox? How did you refute that? I didn't quite understand.
So my refutation is it really depends on what you mean by living and by saying that we are living and dying. Because if we can agree on some definitions for living and dying, we could actually possibly agree that statement is correct. Now, it would be if we were to say something like we are both living and dead, then that would be a paradox, because living and dead are complete opposites, right?
I think that would be more of a contradiction. I don't think paradoxes and contradictions are the same thing.
But a paradox...
One is based on reality, and the other one is just based on false facts.
Well, I don't think that... so a paradox is generally when something... when there's something that kind of doesn't quite... I'm trying to work out a good way to explain a paradox. So it'd be like if there's something that doesn't quite work right with itself. So there would be...
if you go to...
There'd be, I'm not going
to... Go to Sorry, go ahead. No, I'm interrupting. I'm sorry. I was going to say something, but I'll wait until you're done.
Like, if I were to say something like, I can't... I can't open up a bank account until I have a place to live, but I can't have a place to live until I open up a bank account. That would be a paradox, right? We can both agree on that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like Catch-22.
Yeah, that's
the same thing.
That would be an example of a paradox. There are some other paradoxes, like the boat that...
Can I give an example or a premise?
Yep. Go ahead.
How about the statement... nothing can be created or destroyed, yet we exist. Is that a paradox?
No.
How so?
So, if everything has existed forever, then...
but you're making the assumption that everything has always existed already.
Well, has there ever been a case where everything hasn't existed?
Possibly. I mean, I can't refute or neither one of us can either refute or show any evidence towards what you're saying, right? So right now it's all just a thought experiment. So either you go along with the idea and come to a certain conclusion, or you just continue to disagree with everything I'm saying.
Well, I'd say that it really comes down to the evidence, and that's why I'm big on evidence, because, if you had evidence that things...
There's evidence for and against both ways. There's evidence suggesting that I am both living, that I'm alive, right? There's evidence that I'm alive. Are you trying to refute that with me right now?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Substantial. Okay, so are you going to refute with me that there's evidence that we are in a state of dying, where literally throughout history, every one of our biological, offsprings has went through this cycle of growing, of living, and then eventually dying?
So I'm not refuting.
What are you refuting with me here?
So the thing that I most take issue with is when you said that it's a paradox that we have always existed, because I won't disagree that people go through the cycles of
Oh, you said that we always existed. You said that everything always was here. I was saying, how is it a paradox? I asked the question: is it a paradox to say that
So I think we're both on
nothing can be created or destroyed?
Yeah, I don't think that it's a paradox that nothing can be created and like I
destroyed.
think, yeah, well, energy itself cannot be created nor destroyed.
And it is here. And it exists.
Yes.
That's a paradox.
No.
I don't think you understand. Okay, how is it not a paradox? You're not understanding what a paradox is.
Because
how can something come into existence? There you go.
Because if it's always existed, then it didn't come into existence. It's just always existed.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Right? I guess that could be true. If something always existed, where did I say that? I don't know. You already threw me off. I got thrown off.
So the thing that you're going on about is the idea of that energy, at least, cannot be created or destroyed, right? And that's a generally accepted truth of the universe. And I would disagree.
And yet somehow this reality has come into creation or into being, or I don't know the word you want to call it.
I'd say the universe is in being.
What?
I'd say that the universe is in being, if you want to put it that way. Probably a poor choice of words, but yeah. Well, the universe is in existence.
So I feel like you're contradicting yourself by saying that you ultimately you're telling me you agree and you disagree with me, because depending on how you look at it, we are either living or dying, right? That's what you said, or am I misquoting you somewhere?
So yeah, the way that I view it is it depends on what your definitions of living and dying are. Generally, most people can accept that we're living. Some people may disagree depending on their view of what living is, but most people will generally agree that we're living. It depends on what you mean by dying. If you mean getting a step closer towards death, then yeah, we can both be living and dying, depending on your definition.
This was a direct, like, this had to do. This was another. Hey, I can't say it right. This had to do with another conversation directly relating to entropy and how it would be physically impossible. It's based off of the laws of physics for evolution to occur, as we're having genetic progression. We're not becoming more evolved as society. We're becoming more immune to viruses and bacteria and diseases. That's it. That we're becoming more susceptible to these things. It's not the opposite, where we're advancing and everything is turning into things that are a whole different branch of evolution. The evolutionary.
So I'm just confused about what your argument is here. So you mentioned something about evolution. By the way, you might want to go to your settings, because you do cut out a bit. Yeah, and just change. When you go to voice activity, turn your input sensitivity up so that you don't cut out as much. That might help.
Okay, let me see. Hold on.
So yeah, but I'll try to address what you're saying, because I think I kind of understand. So you're basically saying that entropy, because entropy is an increase in disorder or chaos. Chaos is another way to put it. But generally, people understand it. System. Yeah, in a closed system, entropy is an increase in disorder or a decrease in usable energy.
Which which last time we spoke, I determined that we couldn't even come to the conclusion if this reality was or enclosed or like a, where this reality is everything is interconnected. That's what I was trying to say, and I'm not sure if it was you or someone else. They were saying no, that everything's not connected to everything.
Well, you'd have to again, like, this is where evidence would come in. Like, if you want to claim that that everything is connected, you'd have to have some kind of evidence that everything is connected.
Yeah. That's why debates are so dumb. That's why they don't have when you go to school and you learn stuff.
Well,
you don't have a whole bunch of kids debating with the teacher what are the facts, and to me that you know what you're talking about. They just learn that stuff.
That's because the teacher is usually there to teach them how to arrive at a conclusion. You do realise that there are debate clubs at school where they'll debate certain things.
Yeah.
One person does. One person did say the subject of your stream is the shape of the Earth. Nothing he has said addresses that subject, and it is the title is called "The Earth is a Globe." Change my mind. I do like philosophy conversations, so they can be rather interesting. But I do have to point this out.
Oh well, I know. How we're talking, it's probably over most of your viewers' heads, and on how it relates to a globe Earth or not. So I will clarify or simplify it for anybody who's. Are you unaware of the conversation yourself, Walk, or do you want me to clarify?
Well, it would be good if we could.
How it relates to the globe Earth.
Like if this is because sometimes it can relate to these things, but if it's currently going way off topic, it would be good to sort of steer it back towards the shape of the Earth. So.
I'm saying that all truths are paradoxical, and that ultimately is because, like you said it yourself, your own words. The truth is basically in the eye of the beholder. Like,
so yeah,
we determine. What?
So I'd say that the truth, right, is a view of what we perceive to be facts. So if you could hold something as two people could hold two separate things to be true, and these two separate things could be contradictory to each other, but only one of them would actually be consistent with the facts.
So is it possible for reality to be both subjective and objective at the same time?
So I'd say that reality is objective. I'd say that our perception of reality is subjective.
Reality is subjective. Yeah, we're not really getting any too far when we start talking about objective. All based in your perceptions.
Not really.
Yeah.
A perception of reality is based on things like perception, but it doesn't change the fact that there is an objective reality that we are trying to perceive. Like
if reality was subjective, how would you use your objective reasoning to prove that? What I'm saying, because literally I could show you something and you're going to choose to believe whatever you want. It's just going to be a coincidence. It's going to be like
well, no,
that's kind of it. You're just going to chalk it up to coincidence. If no matter what happens, it's going to be a
well, no, I don't just chuck everything
explainable event.
No, I don't just chuck everything up to coincidence. Sometimes there's things that are easily explainable. Usually what I do is if you were to just say you were to show me an image of the flat Earth, right? And it was an image from space of the flat Earth or whatever. Now, there are heaps of explanations for why that is the case. I also have images of the globe Earth from space. So one of those has to be wrong. Now, would have a conversation of why each of them might be real or fake, and then would be able to arrive at a conclusion.
What makes you think that one of them is wrong? You didn't say this, but I'm assuming you are assuming.
I'm just giving an example.
Other is correct. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know then, dude. If you're giving examples that aren't based in like any kind of.
Well, it is. It is based in what could perceivably happen, because when it comes to debating something, right, and you hold a viewpoint that is different to mine, you would have certain evidences that you'd try and give for your viewpoint. I'd have certain evidences that I'd give for my viewpoint. Now, what we can do is we can present each of those evidences and would weigh them up. Now, both viewpoints may be wrong, but one of the viewpoints may be correct. And generally what we're trying to do when we evaluate two viewpoints is we're trying to get rid of we're trying to eliminate the least correct viewpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep on thinking about how how really our thoughts and observations and interactions, like the slightest interactions with reality, affects everything around us, and like that's not really taken into consideration. You're over here saying that our thoughts. You're saying our thoughts, our metaphysical thoughts, don't affect physical reality. That's what you're saying, right?
I'm saying that our thoughts are a product of reality.
Okay, well, you're avoiding the question I'm asking you, though, because I, regardless if that's true or not, that's not my concern. What I asked you was, you remember? I forgot already.
You said something about is this back to the whole all truths are paradoxical thing, or is it some like, because you brought up all truths are paradoxical, you brought up the whole thing about whether reality is objective or subjective, and I said reality is objective, our thoughts about reality are subjective. So is that what you're on about, or?
Yeah, I'm saying literally our thoughts affect reality, and you're over here, which by definition, reality is what? Subjective? Is our perception of it changes it? We literally buildings, dude. We restructured like this whole Earth here, and you're over here saying that our thoughts don't directly affect reality. Again,
this is down to that what do you mean kind of thing, because if you because I said that our thoughts are a product of reality, right? Meaning that our thoughts exist within reality. Our thoughts don't define reality. Now we can use our thoughts to move muscles to do things in reality, but that doesn't mean that it immediately shapes. That doesn't mean that we can change everything in reality with a single thought.
I would have to see some of your proof that is evidence that's proving what you're saying right now, that our thoughts. Would you even be able to prove that if we were able to just control reality? It's possible, you just don't believe it. You don't see it, dude. I'm telling you, people aren't going to.
Okay, so I can give evidence right now for my statement.
People aren't going. Okay, go.
So the evidence that my statement is correct is the fact that the first fact that we can say is outside of our body, our thoughts do not seem to have any direct impact on anything. Right? Our body can now we can use our thoughts to manipulate our body to to move things, but that's our body that's manipulating things. So if I pick up my phone, that's technically not my thoughts picking up my phone. That's my body picking up my phone, which is controlled by my thoughts. So I can't change anything beyond my body using my thoughts. Now I can use my thoughts to manipulate my body to change other things, but I can't do it directly with my thoughts. If that makes sense.
And then you're ignoring the fact that it's completely possible because of technology. I'm not even going to talk about spiritual things because you don't believe in it. I'm just going to stick to scientific developments. Nowadays you can move stuff with your thoughts, and they're trying to the whole neural net where they get your whole brain integrated with the circuit.
So that is more due to a technological advancement. So yeah, I can agree with you. It doesn't. So let me rephrase that. It appears that if something isn't hooked up to your brain,
sure, as far as you understand, because I just gave an example to you, and you agreed, like, oh yeah, well, under those conditions. If I gave you some other conditions that you were aware of that are actual, factual things that you can prove, you'd be like, oh yeah, well, that one's true too. But because I can't prove to you, real quick, I want to finish the sentence.
Yeah.
Because I can't prove to you that I can make a generator that is run off of shit. You're not going to believe me, right? Because I don't have no evidence. I don't have nothing to prove to you that it's possible.
Yeah, so if you were to make a claim, an unsubstantiated claim, I would disagree.
Of course.
Now,
of course you would.
I will.
Even if it was factually possible, right? You would still disagree if it was 100% factually possible.
So there's two things. There's things that could be possible with certain frameworks. And so, for example, it could be that a wormhole is possible, 2 points connecting space and time. Now, if you told me that you had a wormhole, I would disagree. Even if you gave me all the equations of how it works and that, I would still disagree that you had a wormhole because you don't have any actual evidence for there being a wormhole in reality.
But yeah, I agree with that. You're changing up the whole premise here. I was merely saying that these things are possible. And I'm not saying I'm able to do these things. I'm saying these things are possible. But you, on the opposing side, is saying, you need to show me evidence where you could even claim that something like that's possible. And I'm saying, if you're unaware of how the laws of physics works, then I don't know what to tell you. You need to do more research.
So just because something is possible doesn't mean that I should, just because something is possible doesn't mean that I should accept it. That's why we use evidence. So there are a lot of things that could be possible.
Accept it what?
What?
You shouldn't accept it as what, true? Or accept it as a premise that I'm making in a thought experiment? You can't accept it how?
So if something is, so there are a lot of things that are possible, right? Like it is possible that you have found a unicorn, for example. Now, can you make these things more based in reality? Because, like I said, you keep on going off into these things that are very illogical. Well,
it's hard to.
We can agree.
It's hard to apply logic to unicorns and things that you're just putting out of your head.
Let's say.
I know Harry Potter is your favorite one.
Usually, I like to give examples which could be, which could have, like, it is possible that someone has found a unicorn, like that's just a horse with a horn on its head, right?
What is the percentage of that possibility? Because you're saying it's possible. What percentage exactly is that impossible?
There is the possibility. There is a possibility that there is a horse out there that has a horn on its head.
Oh yeah, that's possible. Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
a unicorn, but it's a horse with it.
Well, a horse that that has grown a horn, to be more precise. So it's possible that there is a horse out there that has a horn on its head. Now, I'm not going to agree that that exists until someone gives me evidence for it, because otherwise anyone could claim, oh yeah, I've got a unicorn, it's out the back there. Now, is it possible? Yes. Should I believe it? Not until they give me evidence.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I feel like this is part of how you need to learn how to get unindoctrinated, because I honestly am not trying to make you believe in anything, but it seems like that's the process of how you are made to believe things. They show you, quote unquote, this supposed evidence that more than likely the average layman or person that doesn't have access to a very expensive lab, we won't be able to recreate these things that are, that they're telling us is possible. We just need to accept it in faith, but that's not true, right?
Well, there are certain things that there are certain things that there would be. I'm just trying to work it out. There are certain things that you can't go ahead and test for yourself. Now, I would actually disagree and say that most things can be tested for yourself depending on how you go about it. So, for example, it is possible to get a physics degree. It is possible to learn a lot of physics and then become a aerospace engineer from that. It's just that it's very difficult to do, and many people aren't willing to put in the time and effort to do that.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. I don't know where you're going with this.
Also, my point here is that even though a lot of people say that, we're never going to know certain things, I mean, there are main reason why you don't know about certain things. Like if someone will say, "Oh, we're never going to be in space, so we're never going to find out if the Earth is a globe from space or something," right? And so, for them, it may be true that they'll never be in space. But for some people that put in the effort to actually go to space, then they could see the Earth from space.
And money, don't forget money.
Yeah, depends. Like, some people are really determined and put in a lot of hard work to be able to do this kind of stuff.
Are you aware of Christopher McAuliffe?
No,
I was a supposed person who they put her up in a rocket ship and she ended up dying in an explosion going up into space. It was here in Texas.
Oh,
School to her.
Are you talking about the Challenger disaster?
Yeah. Do you remember that? Remember how many people died there?
Yeah, I've heard about that whole thing.
What did you hear specifically? Because people say a lot of stuff.
So I'm probably going to predict your point before you even get to it. So essentially, they sent some people, or they're sending some people up into space on the Challenger rocket ship. And there are people, like they even were trying to send a couple of civilians into space as well, as part of the program. Now, when it came to it, on the way up, the rocket ship exploded, which was pretty bad. And there have been some people that actually disagree people generally don't disagree that the rocket ship exploded. People generally disagree when people disagree with it. People generally disagree that there were people on the rocket ship. Now, people bring up that there's people that look.
Your understanding, was there or was there not people on the rocket ship?
My understanding. From what I
heard you say, putting people on it.
My understanding is that there were people on the rocket ship.
Okay, go on. I just wanted to make.
Yeah. So people that claim that there weren't people on the rocket ship will claim that there's this person is still alive because there's this person here which has the same name and looks similar. Even though you can actually go ahead and see whether these people at the time of the Challenger disaster were doing what they were doing. So, for example, there was one person who was who was supposedly on the Challenger craft, and he was working a job as a CEO of a company or something. I can't remember exactly. There's also one person who was the brother of who was the brother
Points.
of
What are the points, man?
What?
What are the points, man?
Oh yeah, my point is that most of the people claiming that there wasn't anybody on the ship, they're generally wrong.
Yeah, because I saw recently on the news. Do you think that's just because? Do you think the news is like a big contributing factor to the reason why all this mass hysteria that's going on? Because
it certainly doesn't help. It certainly doesn't help in some cases.
But you don't blame them, right? It's not the fault of the mainstream media or the system that's set up, like the government or the
It depends.
AC health organizations. Nobody of them is responsible for anything, right?
Depends what you mean by mass hysteria. Like, there's certain things that I would be like, yeah, that's because of the media. Like a lot of this hate towards Donald Trump, I will agree, is a result of the media. But then that's also partially Donald Trump's fault as well. So,
If the Earth was a flat turtle floating in space, do you really think that government would want average person to know that?
Depends.
I'm asking you honestly, from all the corruption and all of the historical, knowledge. I don't know how much it is you have of how people oppress people. Are you telling me that? You telling me that our governments would rather us have more freedom to an understanding of our reality? Like if we weren't physical beings that were only attached to our bodies.
So I would say that the governments. So my general proposition is it's generally better for everyone if there is more. It's generally better for everyone if more people are educated. It's my general premise. Do you agree or disagree with that?
What does it have to do with the government? I agree, yeah. Education is better than ignorance, but where does government play the role in here?
Okay.
Because government has been doing a really bad job at educating kids throughout, centuries.
So we'll start with that premise. It's generally better for everyone if people are educated. Now, the government is... the people in government are a part of everyone. So the using those two premises is generally...
In what sense? Because you were telling me that everything I was saying is true in a certain sense, and if you look at it this way, so what do you mean the government is part of the people? That's a real broad statement.
Well,
I thought the people was the government. I thought the people made up the government, not the people. The government is a part of the people.
Well, that's what I mean. There are people that make up the government. So the people that are in the government are a part of everyone.
Is that true for all governments, or is that like the ideal way a government is supposed to be run?
Well, everyone includes... Like, if we're talking about everyone as in people, then you can't disclude the people in the government from being a part of everyone.
Okay, you're not following me here. I'm saying, in reality, the government is supposed to be made up of the people, and it's the opposite. You just said it yourself. There's a few people who control the masses. That's it. That's how things are working right now.
So a few things. One person just messaged me saying that you should probably adjust your input sensitivity, and I do agree.
I don't know how to do that. Where is it?
So you can go to user settings.
The mic is just really shitty.
Well, no, it's not. It's probably not because of your mic. It's probably because of Discord itself. Like, you can go to user settings, and then go to voice and video, and then adjust your input sensitivity there.
Yeah, it's blast. Oh, hello.
And generally, what you can do is you can adjust it so that when you're above a certain threshold, you'll so that'll just stop you from cutting out all the time. And he's deafened himself. God damn it. Let's see what the chat. Yeah, I'm still waiting for. Oh, there we go.
Come back.
So did you fix it, or? And I don't know if he can. Maybe. Oh, I heard something.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I guess I turned it all the way up now.
Okay, so yeah. All right. So generally, people. So yeah, generally, people. If we take the people in the government, they are a part of. Well, so I don't see why you'd exclude people that are in the government as being a part of everyone if we agree that everyone includes all people.
I was saying that the way the way an ideal government is set up is, yeah, the people are the ones who run the government, but in reality, that's not how this system or government, our government has been set up.
It doesn't matter whether
a difference.
It doesn't matter how the government is set up. We can still agree that the government, the people in the government, are still a part of everyone.
I think you don't know the difference between an empire and a nation.
Yeah, but this doesn't matter. If
the
government,
it does matter.
The people in the government are still a part of everyone. No?
Okay, so yeah, in some sense, I agree, and I went on to say, in an ideal government, that is true, but that's not always true. You're talking about for one specific scenario, right?
Well, I'm not talking about a specific scenario. I'm talking about people that are in governments, because there's heaps of governments around the world, right? Those people are still a part of everyone. Do you disagree with that, or?
Like, you mean they're on the earth?
I mean,
they're part of the human race. Yeah, I can agree with that. Why are you?
So
why would I disagree with that?
So my first premise was it's generally better for people. It's generally better for everyone if everyone is educated, right? Well, if people are educated.
Yeah.
Premise 2 is the governments, or the people in governments, are a part of everyone. So the conclusion from that is it's generally better for
and I disagreed about that. And I was disagreeing. I was saying that government officials can be completely secluded from what they call what is it called, the civilians, and we are under a whole different law than most people in power are. They do not have to abide by the same laws, literally, because they are in a higher position of power.
So
I don't know how that's being a part of the people, because they're not.
So just because they're in a higher position of power does not separate them from being a person, right?
Yeah, and I agree, and that's what I was saying. I'm not saying they're fucking aliens. I'm not saying they're from space. I'm saying that they're not. They, in the sense, they aren't a part. You're talking about an ideal government, because most governments nowadays are empires, and they're ran by one person.
Yeah, my premise. My premise has nothing to do, right, with whether governments have power or not. My premise is just that people being educated is generally better for people. It's generally better for everyone.
Yeah, we agreed on this like what, 30 minutes ago. I agree on that part. I don't know.
And you cannot separate even by power. You cannot separate people from everyone unless you have some really good justification. Like if you were to say, oh, they're on a different planet, then yeah, I could agree that you could then separate them from everyone. But for the most part, you have to include them in everyone, in the category of everyone.
In what sense? That's what I was saying. And in what sense are you saying include them? Because I'm saying
in the sense of it's going to be better for everyone
in a whole other class
if people are educated.
Yeah, we established that education is good, and then we started like kind of arguing over.
Yeah. So so I think the extension is, it's not only going to be better for people like you and I, right? But it means that if it's going to be better for everyone, it's going to be better for the government and for the people in the government if everyone is educated, or if people are educated.
Yeah, sure.
So why would the government?
It's just a premise you're making up in your head that is not even based
I can substantiate
in reality, right?
I can substantiate
it's
it.
Just like an idea.
Do you want me to
Sure.
So the reason why it's a good idea the reason why it's good for people in the government if people are educated is because that means that there can be more advances in things like technology, and generally for most people, better technology is a good thing.
That's why they're automating everything, right? And they're making AI robots.
Yeah.
That's why everything's becoming automated because of what you're saying right now.
Yeah,
they want to teach everybody stuff and make them better so we can progress as a civilization.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was being sarcastic. That's the exact opposite of opposites of of the purpose of automating things and making robots learn.
Okay, so the purpose of making robots, right, is to make things easier on people. Now, the only way that you get to robots, right, is by educated people.
Okay, I don't know. That's so true. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not arguing that. You're saying like, what are those things called where they're like self-evident truths? You're like saying, all I've heard from you so far is nothing but self-evident things. Like, you're not saying anything that is controversial, or you're not holding any stance other than you just saying you disagree with my premises because I could be perceiving the words differently. Like, that's all you got.
I'm running you through why the government, why it's good for the government for people to be educated, and why they wouldn't tell us, why the Earth, if it were a turtle or something, why they wouldn't keep that from us, So
wait. So if the Earth was a turtle, how would that benefit us? How would the government telling us, how would that benefit the government? Because you're saying the government's a part of us, and I was saying, no. In what sense are you referring to? Because in reality, they're in a higher position of power. They're aware of more information, and there's stuff going on, technologies that have been oppressed, peoples that have been genocide that we're not even aware of. Because history is written by the conqueror, and we're living in an empire.
So when it comes to,
Wait.
So
am I lying here? What did I say to you right now? That's a lie. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
So I'm going to explain here, sort of where you're going wrong. So when it comes to the premise that I disagree with is that the shape of the Earth is not important. Because first off, right, if the shape of the Earth was not important, then why would they be hiding the shape of the Earth, right? So we both agree that would have to agree that if someone is going to be hiding the shape of the Earth would at least have to be somewhat important. Now, if the shape of the Earth is important, then it means that if we're going to advance as a society, then the shape of the Earth is going to be important to advancing as a society. And we both agreed that education, people being educated, is generally better for people than people not being educated.
I know.
So,
well, I want to add something to that, 'cause you keep on saying that over and over again. I'm going to add one thing to that. Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are afraid of people that have power. So, generally speaking, the average person likes to be the one holding the bigger stick, and they'll try to do that by any means necessary most of the time.
But generally, I would also say that, you know, if your stick is going to go with someone else's stick, you're generally going to want to still have a big stick. You know, if you get a longer stick, if everyone in the world gets a longer stick, right? But it's proportional to the length of their current stick, then the people with the big sticks are going to be like, oh yeah, you know, well, this is a good thing, right? So yeah.
Yeah.
So essentially,
Planet Walk, you're losing me.
So essentially,
I'm getting lost here.
like
Chaos.
like when it comes to it, the shape of the Earth, it'd be better for people to know that, because then there can be advances in whatever it is about the shape of the Earth. Maybe it's maybe it's maps, or maybe it's certain things like let's say exploring all different parts of the Earth. Maybe it's possible, like if the Earth were flat with a dome over it, maybe it's possible to build an upside down city on the dome, you know, or maybe build something in the air.
I have a question for you. Do you have Hulu?
No, I don't have Hulu.
There's this new show that just came out that I don't know, the directors of Rick and Morty made, and it reminds me of this specific conversation where basically they're living in a wall. There's no way out except for one hole, and the leader of the king or whatever of the place that everyone's trapped in, the wall, doesn't tell anybody that there's an escape route, because he wants to be the only one, you know, that has all the power and all the knowledge, and he just like holds that over people. And that's kind of what's going on here. If we have access to infinite space, but you know, there's people that the only reason we're not doing it is because people want to control us. We could be out traveling in space, but there's people that want us to work for them. How long ago did we go to space, supposedly? Like in the what?
It was I
don't even know, like the 40s?
It was 1969, or 1969 was when we went to the moon, at least.
Supposedly. There's like historical records or evidence of flying spaceships on pyramids, and drawings on, what is it called, in cliffs or caves of UFOs and stuff. Aliens. They could have just been hallucinating, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, they could be, I can agree that the idea of the UFOs, like, when it comes to the whole UFO things, like, first off, yeah, there can be things to do with hallucinations, but then there can also be the things that they didn't know what they were, so they just, that could be drawing something that what we perceive today as a UFO, it might be that they were just drawing the moon and we mistake it as a UFO or something, you know. But the thing is,
why do you think technology gets lost in time?
I think that generally it doesn't.
Oh my God! So you're just disagreeing with everything I'm saying now, huh? Okay, so how are the pyramids built? Or you know for a fact? Please give me some proofs of your evidence, the Great Pyramids in
Pyramids were built by stacking rocks on top of rocks on top of rocks.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's what I heard back when I was in kindergarten. That has to be the correct answer, right?
Well, the way that I like to view it is that when you go into the pyramids, you're not transported to the deck of the Starship Enterprise, so they're just rocks.
Yeah, isn't it sitting on a fault line though? And isn't it sitting on a magnetic fault line?
What's a magnetic fault line?
Well, that's outside of your scope of knowledge, huh? I don't want to bring it up. It's only gonna confuse you.
Okay, like if we're gonna talk about things that I prefer not to talk about things that you're not going to explain. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're unaware of it, I don't want to go on a whole 30-minute thing of holding your hand and explaining it. If you really cared about it, you could look it up one day.
Okay.
In 50 years, and then we can talk about it again.
So we'll get back to the topic at hand. The whole whether people would, the whole thing of people in power, because my general premise there was that it's generally, like I've repeated this ad hoc, ad nauseum, and that is that it's generally better for people if people are educated, and I don't see how it wouldn't be good for the government if people aren't educated, because the government, I'd assume, would want to go to different places. Like the government generally wants to be able to explore.
That's a broad term, education. Like anybody can be educated in a vast, field of subjects, and it doesn't mean you could educate them on 100,000 things. It doesn't mean you could still hide the shape of the Earth to them, and they're still unaware of.
Well, it's quite important.
The shape of the Earth.
It's quite important to many governments having power about the shape of the Earth. For example, if you want to develop ICBMs, what's that?
Maybe can I say one?
Yeah.
The information that is being crammed down our throats and the children's throats of future generations, most of it is useless information that doesn't get used. That's it. That's all I'm saying. The true information and knowledge and facts are hidden from us.
So generally, people are explaining there is a lack of what they'd like to know. So I'd agree that there are certain things that we should probably be taught in schools that aren't taught in schools. Like how to do your taxes, for example, would be a really good thing for them to teach in schools, especially in American schools. But there's reasons why they there are reasons why they don't. But the information. But it doesn't mean that they're trying to... just because they don't teach something doesn't mean that they're trying to cover that thing up. So they're not trying to cover up how to do your taxes. They just make it extremely confusing of how to do your taxes. When it comes to the shape of Earth, it is very important for a lot of things, especially maintaining power. So, for example, if you want to talk about... For example, ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles. To develop ICBMs, you need to know the shape of the Earth, and they are very important for governments to maintain power because of the whole. If one government had ballistic missiles and another government didn't, the government that didn't would be bombed the fuck out of. I mean, I'm going to drag 82 in, who is someone that has been in the military, so 82 will probably agree with me that if one government has technology that can bomb the shit out of another government, the government that has the technology that will bomb the shit out of everyone will use that technology to maintain power. And
So you're telling me if that they're not deliberately hiding certain information under the premise of public safety. Like, you know, they don't want, obviously, they don't want everybody to know how to build a nuclear power plant, because how many people would be building nuclear power plants, you know, in the back of their yard? Probably. I don't know. I'm pretty sure the information is out there somewhere.
Well, I don't think
public
that
information.
it's not that they're trying to withhold information. It's more that it's more that certain materials to build a nuclear power plant are extremely difficult to get. Right? They're not going to. They're not going to tell you. They're not going to be like, okay, anyone can buy these materials. You got to go through the proper things. But they're not going to withhold the information of how to build a nuclear power plant, because they will need nuclear power plants to be built in the future. The information isn't being withheld. Generally, it might be the materials to build certain things that might be withheld.
Yeah, that's true. That is definitely another way we are being oppressed, by being withheld essential materials.
Oh well,
I agree.
Uranium isn't an essential material.
Well, yeah, I didn't say uranium's an essential material. You just finished saying that they.
Well, you did just go from talking about nuclear arms to essential materials. So
he said that. He said essential material, and I said I followed his literal verbiage.
I didn't
now
say.
I'm getting attacked again for my vocabulary.
All I said was that. All I said was that there are certain materials that would be withheld because those materials might be dangerous.
Essential. You said certain essential materials.
I said certain materials. I didn't say essential materials.
Oh, MG. Okay, fine. Well, I'll go back and look at it and just be like, I knew it. Told you so. Talk to myself and say it. Because no one cares, right? All your fans could really care less if you were made a mistake just then.
Oh, if I make a mistake, they tell me.
True. Yeah, I do agree.
Yeah, we pull no punches on corrections here.
Yeah, of course. You are the puppet masters in behind the scenes.
Since when does that follow?
The whole system is set up for us to dance like monkeys when money's thrown at us.
Okay, so go ahead and justify that stance, please.
For people's entertainment. Justify that stance. What is all of YouTube nowadays? It's nothing but a big...
It's actually being taken over by the mainstream media, and it's not what it once was, so try that again.
Yes, I agree. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's nothing but entertainment, and yeah, that's Planet Walk. That's the environment that you're putting yourself in. That's what you're doing. You're literally, I'm not dogging it. Hey, if I could make money just being on YouTube talking about stuff, I'd do it. I'd make money off of it. But
so can entertainment also be informational?
I can't make fun of people. You say that I troll and that people who ask honest questions are trolling, and you're the ones who like to...
You can tell the difference between who's asking an honest question and who is sea-lioning, which means they're just asking to ask a question. They're not actually an honest person in the conversation. There is a demonstrable difference. So you made the claim that myself and Planner Walk, specifically here, are somehow gatekeepers. Please justify that.
I didn't say you specifically. I said Planet Walk is putting himself in an environment that I just described.
Before you went on that diatribe, it's when I asked a question about information and you mentioned us being gatekeepers, and I asked you to justify that stance. Please do so.
I don't like to do personal attacks on people. I made a statement, and then after that, like, if I just start being like, oh, you're doing this for money and whatever, this and that, I feel like that's just me being mean to somebody, because I don't have a problem with somebody making money entertaining people. The only problem I have is just the...
And that entire thing so far has been a non sequitur and not related to what I asked you.
What did you ask me?
Justify your statement of comparing myself and Planner Walk to being a gatekeeper of any kind.
I just said it. You're on here right now speaking and doing all this for entertainment. Literally, there is an agenda behind.
Actually, I'm here genuinely curious how much you packed your bong before you came on.
There is an agenda when it comes to this flat Earth and globe Earth little distraction thing that has been going on for, I don't know, the past 5 years.
So you still, I do want to jump in here and say you still haven't actually answered 82's question of how...
I did. I said it 3 times that y'all are literally just performers.
Yeah, but how...
Not taking serious
actual
information.
So the thing is, when it comes to entertainment, like something can be... do you disagree that something can be entertaining and educational at the same time?
No, I don't disagree, but I do disagree that you claiming that by having these debates is somehow educational is ridiculous.
Getting information out there is educational. Whether or not you believe the information is correct is immaterial to that fact.
What information are you getting out other than saying that the Earth is round?
Well,
the number of discussions I've been a part of, we've actually gone into how certain knowledge has been gained, how certain knowledge has been verified, and how certain aspects of things are actually constantly misrepresented by one group vice another. So yes, there is information to be had surrounding the topic that can be gained by someone who doesn't have the information. So that would be a benefit, even though, as you put it, it's entertainment. Entertainment can be used as an avenue for education and sharing of information as well. But still, that does not go to my question. How are we gatekeepers?
Oh, Angie, I think you have a problem mentally or something, because I said it already.
I have a problem with people making claims, being asked to justify them, and then running the fuck away from it. You said something, justify
I think you're
it.
delusional now. I think now you're delusional because you assume, or for some reason you think I'm learning.
Your words, Smith. Your words. I am asking you to justify your words, and you are running away from it. Do you not have any faith or trust or veracity in what you say?
Okay, and I'll reiterate one more time, and then Planet Walk, if you want to continue a conversation, I would be happy to, but I'm not going to keep on repeating the same thing over and over again for the next...
Answer the question.
20 minutes. 20 minutes. I already said by y'all doing these debates and pushing this agenda, blindly believing what the mainstream media is telling you, I
don't, so stop with the red herring. How are we gatekeepers?
Can you let me finish my sentence? Because I'm trying to finish my sentence and you're cutting me off.
You are repeating the same thing you've said 5 times now. That does not answer the question.
I agree.
Unlike you, I'm paying attention to what's being said.
I agree. We are repeating the same thing over and over again. So, Planet Walk, do you want to jump in here?
You're avoiding the actual question.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in here and say, essentially, what 82's trying to say is, like, he's wanting you to explain.
Essentially, what am I trying to say? Because I understand what he's saying. His premise is what I'm saying is false, and I need to justify myself. Now,
he's
my
wanting
premise?
No.
No, I'm still wrong, right? You still disagree. I'm still wrong. Okay.
No. I am
Let's
not.
hear it.
The only thing I am saying you are wrong in is asserting what my premise is. I did not assert a premise. I asked you to justify what you said.
Mhm.
And you're not. You're avoiding the topic of my question. That is not justifying your position. That is not justifying what you said. That is avoiding it. That's trying to be a dishonest little prick.
Yeah, I don't know how by me saying that by y'all
Said
holding
we were
these
gatekeepers.
conversations.
You said we
Yeah.
were gatekeepers. Justify that, please.
I would like to see the evidence for that because I think you're delusional, and I never said that.
I'm pretty sure there was. I'm pretty sure people can
Yeah, I
go
would
back
like
into the
to.
stream.
I would like to
and-
see some substan. Yeah, bring up some substantial evidence before we go on to arguing about this another 30 minutes. Because I'm saying I never said that, and he continues to.
Okay, so if you didn't
Saying
say
that I
that,
did,
then
so I don't know.
okay, so if you didn't say that, then what did you say? Alright, if you want to reword your statement or whatever.
What did I say? Well, I'll start off from before I got interrupted, because that's where I originally was at. Before I lost my train of thought. Thank you, friend.
So it seemed, from what I remember, you were going on about how we don't want to change our mind because we have an agenda, and I'd disagree. Like, I'd say that I'm perfectly willing to change my mind. In fact, my mind has been changed multiple times. So,
I know what he was getting mad about, because he was saying that when you're wrong, that they will get on you and correct you whenever you're wrong. And I was like, yeah, well, of course they would. They're the puppet masters. They're the ones who are paying you. You know, they're the ones who support all the narrative that you're spitting out. They're the ones who are attacking anybody who disagrees with anything you're saying. You know, like, well, I don't know why. But when I say all these things, I feel like people get offended or something, because it's like you're attacking their personality or something, because they feel like a personal attachment to your channel or something. I don't know, or they're getting paid for it. One of the two. It's one or the other. Personal attachment. They're either getting paid or they're paying you. One of the two.
So what you're saying doesn't really make sense. Like,
of course it doesn't, because I said it, right?
No, what your statement there just really doesn't make sense. If they're paying me to sort of keep in line, why would they worry about what you say?
Yeah, or why is your channel nothing but about flat Earth? That's crazy.
Well, I actually talk about other things. Like, I've talked about 5G. I've talked about recently. I talked about the lizard people. Sometimes I just make videos for entertainment purposes. Like, there are videos that are just there to make people laugh. Nothing else.
Yeah, I agree. And everything that you stand for is based on mainstream scientific, like, facts that are always being disputed and refuted.
Yes, like that is the primary thing of what I do, because I do have a concern for the truth. I have respect for the truth, and I would rather people believe in the truth than believe in a misconception.
Yeah, but you don't want the actual truth. You want people's perception of it. You want people to hold your hand and make you understand.
No,
You don't want to come to the understanding on your own. There's a difference from when you are taught and when you teach yourself. When you learn on your own.
So what I want is I want the truth. And now the truth, I may change my mind of what the truth is. Like, years back, I would have told you that the truth is that we didn't go to the moon. Years back, I would have told you that the truth is that 9/11 was an inside job. Nowadays, I have learned different things. New information has come to light, so I've changed my mind.
Yeah.
And there are actually times when I'll when there's something that I'd love to be true, like take, for example, a recent video, which I know you saw, and that was the whole dichotomy between the whole dichotomy that was with D. Marble saying that the globe is the side of evolution. I know you saw it. The D. Marble said that the globe was the side of evolution, godlessness, and the Big Bang and all that. And he said that the flat Earth was the side of religion. I'd love for that to be the case. I do not like religion because I disagree with religion, and I think that sometimes religion can be. Right? I think that religion can sometimes be actively harmful. But am I going to say that this false dichotomy is a thing, even though I'd love for it to be a thing? No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to.
You said even though religion can be harmful?
Yeah, I think religion can be harmful.
Do you think, like, the pursuit of scientific progress can be harmful?
I think pseudoscience can be harmful.
So the pursuit
I would go so far to say that the progression of science can be harmful, but in a different way than the way religions tend to be harmful.
Well, yeah. Well, now you're going into a whole nother, like, conversation.
Yeah, we're going into physical harm versus emotional and mental.
So science has never done unhumane experiments on people and animals in the sake of science? That's never been done in history, or
is that what I said?
A question, because you're saying that there's a difference between religion and science.
Yes. Scientific harm can be physical, like some of the inhumane and unethical experiments you're alluding to. However, religion is more insidious because it is mentally harmful and it has been socially accepted for so long. Different type of modality between the two.
That's an interesting mindset. I would have never thought of that.
But yeah, well, like, what were we getting into? We were getting into something. I feel like we got off track a little bit there.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta do something to myself. Hold on.
Okay. Well, we've got another flat Earth. We've got a flat Earther here. So.
In the meantime, is AB still in here?
I think so.
Hello.
I wanted to let him know that what he was mentioning before instead of fault was actually magnetic ley line.
Okay. So, we've got Why You Are an Idiot here. So, what...
Hey, guys. How you guys been? Haven't seen you guys. I know every single one of you.
So, the title of this video is "The Earth is a Globe." Changed my mind. So, and you just have to use, like, if you've got any evidence, that would be the thing that would change my mind. So.
Okay. Really? Really? You want me to do it? Out of all people.
Well, unless I get presented with evidence, I'm not going to change my mind, am I? I mean, other flat earthers haven't come in, so there was one, but he didn't present much evidence.
So you guys have pretty much like made your choice already. So I've already talked to all of you, but for anyone else that's watching, I guess I'll do it for them. Okay.
Well, I am willing to change my mind. It's just that you haven't presented any actual evidence from what I remember. Like, you've only said about giants, and maybe I've forgotten. Maybe you haven't. I've forgotten it. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you've forgotten it.
Okay.
Oh my god. Either way, all right. Let's do this real quick.
Okay. Let's. Oh, he
Oh, yeah, put me back. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. Okay. So what have you got?
Let's see. Should I just send it to you automatically, or yeah, I'll just send it to you, I guess.
Yeah, send it to me, and I'll take a look.
Cool. Who else was on?
We've got AB Science in 82. Yeah.
Oh no, I mean before I came. Who else was on?
It was Bigger Agent Smith. He sometimes jumps on to. Generally, I have some nice conversations with him. It's generally more philosophy based with him, so when it's philosophy, there's not a lot of evidence presented. Even though I can sort of, even if someone can kind of justify their claims, it's generally more of a rationale based thing. And I think I heard AB Science, but he was very quiet.
Okay.
So, what is...
I've basically been in debates with all three of you, so, you know. It's one of those things.
So, what have you got?
Well, before I post this, I'm actually wondering, did you see my video on why the moon has those marks?
Nope.
Oh, you gotta see it. It definitely got a lot of hype. People started making videos about it. People started making videos about it. I think I have like 700 comments or something like that.
Okay.
Because it's
Go ahead and give us the gist.
Okay. Forgive me, I just ate and I'm like, okay. Here, post this up, okay? And then I'll explain what's going on.
Okay, I'm just going to put it onto the stream screen so that people can see it. There we go.
Hold on, let me actually...
Alright. So I'll mute it so that... Well, it seems like comments are turned off. 2 moons seen in the sky over Devon, UK. And AB Science is still very quiet. So there's zooming up on two moons, or what appears to be 2 moons. Okay. So I'll actually share with you guys so that you can hopefully it doesn't kill everything. That's okay. Do you guys see that? Oh, and it's causing glitching. I might have to not. Does everyone see that though?
I mean, I can see it. I don't know about everyone else.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
AB Science, you're really quiet, by the way. Like, really quiet.
I'm trying to fix it. I have no idea where this is coming from. Yeah. Alright.
Okay, let me know when you guys are ready, so I can explain.
Well, go ahead and what is your explanation of it?
My explanation is simple.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
There are 2 more. Wow, that's real slow on your. That's coming in real.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So, what's your explanation? You started with your explanation, then you didn't explain.
Sorry. No, it's just okay. Now I know what was going on. Okay, because I kept hearing like double voices. I was like, "What the hell's going on?"
Oh, okay.
Okay. No. Okay, basically, God says there's a glass dome. It's made out of basically sapphire and glass. Okay, it's real simple. Basically, usually at a certain time during the year, the moon gets real close to the dome. The moon gets real close to the dome, and it reflects. Basically, it's just the moon reflecting off the glass dome. That's all it is.
Okay.
And it'll eventually go away.
Okay, so what is your evidence for the glass dome?
Forgive me. Besides the tons and tons of rockets, I mean, the dome is made of glass and sapphire. Sapphire is blue. And then on top of that, there's water on top. I mean, the sky is blue, so that's already...
What is your evidence for the glass dome?
The Thor missiles that hit the dome.
What?
Do you know about them?
The what missiles?
The Thor missiles that hit the dome. Thor missiles that were sent up to hit the dome.
I haven't heard of any missiles that have hit the dome. Are you talking about some rockets that have shot up and and then they get to a certain point and slow down?
There's a ton of missiles. You've never seen... Hopefully,
I've seen a rocket that's gone up, but I haven't seen any rockets smash into a dome and then explode.
Are you talking Operation Paperclip?
No. Well,
I think he's talking...
Or are you going towards Fishbowl?
I think he's actually talking about these certain...
It's more towards Dominic, if I remember correct. It's more towards Dominic, which is part of Fishbowl. Right here. I'll send you. Yeah.
So high altitude research into what the effect of a nuclear explosion at altitude would do to communications was somehow proof of the dome?
No. This was sent up to... There's two choices on what you want to believe. Either it's to measure how far this thing is and how big it is, basically how high it is, and how long it basically spreads out, or it was to break it. It was to break it. Or it was neither, because you're full of shit. How am I full of shit? It's literally on video. Planner Walk just posted.
Okay, is there a particular... what's the particular timestamp? 58 seconds.
Okay, hold on.
So, I'm seeing a few rockets launching.
You can start at 1 minute, like 7 seconds. 1 minute, 7 seconds.
Okay, like one minute. I'll just skip to 1 minute. So we've got some rockets that are going up, and I'm seeing some rockets going up. Nice footage of rockets going up.
It's dying.
It is pretty cool. Pretty cool footage though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Look at all these. Look at all of them. Look. There's a ton of them.
Your rocket's being shot up though. That's.
Look at them.
What am I? How's this? How's this proof of a dome?
Well, think about it. If you found that you were in a dome, what would you want to do? Two things. Either you'd want to get out, or you'd want to at least first measure this thing. You want to at least measure this thing out. So it's like, okay, how high it is. That's the first thing you need to check out. And that's why I have my heights. That's why my height is so low compared to other flat earthers. Like a lot of flat earthers like to say it's like 3,000 miles or 2,000 miles. Yet when I look at all the evidence of the rockets that were launched, we're only talking about a few hundred miles. This thing's only a few hundred miles high.
Okay, so I found the particular point at which you think is the evidence of the of it hitting the dome, right? Because it says hitting the dome in 3, 2, 1. There's a big problem with that. Do you want me to explain it to you, or do you think you already know?
Oh, I already know.
It doesn't explode.
You guys are gonna no. That isn't
okay, what was your idea?
No, the main issue that people like to bring up is the D-spin. That's the main issue, because the fact that it didn't explode doesn't really mean much. Because if you actually look through the missiles that I was talking about, the Thor missiles, some of them didn't even explode when they hit the dome. Some of them exploded, some of them didn't.
If there's a camera,
so it's like, okay, it means all of them don't.
Well, I'd assume that with something hitting the dome at a high speed, like the rocket that I just saw, that there'd be that it would break into pieces at least. It may not explode in a fiery explosion, but it would at least break into a lot of pieces.
No. The only evidence after when I was watching the videos, it just had some bends. It bent a little. That's all I saw. That's the only evidence I had of it. It was like bent up a little. Other than that, that was it. And to me, that really isn't that big of a surprise. The reason why is because when we think of ourselves, we think as much as we know this place is big, we do think of ourselves as pretty big as humans. But from God's perspective, think of us as like the size of an ant.
So
and I'm not joking. Literally think of us as the size of an ant. And now imagine a bunch of ants building a little tiny miniature rocket that they think is big, and then they shoot it at the dome. Just what's going to happen? Nothing. God's just going to watch and be like, these idiots.
Your size comparison is off. We're even smaller.
No, that I have to say that's a pretty accurate comparison. Ants, we're like the size of ants, and God is like a human.
But getting back to your evidence there, that isn't good evidence for a dome. A rocket's de-spinning is not good evidence.
No, that's what people try and bring up. They try and bring up de-spin.
Yeah, but
and like I look into it, and then I see a rocket de-spin, and I'm all like, okay, it's de-spinning, but it's still moving up, and you can see the ground changing. You can see like there are other rockets.
So why?
And you'll see the ground change. This one just stops. There's no way that can happen unless it blocks. Look, unless you think it hit a plane.
How high?
You want to say it hit a plane? Be my guest. But I'm letting it hit
something. Let me see. Like wait, I'm confused about this because I keep on. It seems to go really fast. It might just be that it's going really fast, but it doesn't seem to be. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be appear any higher because it probably doesn't. The reason why it probably doesn't appear to seem any higher is because first off, to start off with, you are seeing you're seeing it spin, so it looks like it's going up really fast.
You're struggling.
No,
you're struggling.
Let me explain. I'm trying to explain it. So, essentially, when it's spinning, it looks as though it's going up really fast, and then when it stops spinning, it's kind of jarring. So you're like, oh, less motion, and your brain sort of assumes that it's on the x-axis. Like we could probably actually, if someone wants to go ahead and analyze the footage, then you could, that would take a long time. And to me, it doesn't look like it's. So to me, it doesn't look like it's slowing down. At least on the axis away from the Earth.
For me, I know what I'm seeing. It's spinning and then it stops. It sounds like you can hear the sound of it hitting something. It sounds like it hit something. Now, you can make an assumption on what it is. Like the best assumption you got is like a plane or something. I mean, what? Maybe a balloon? One of those balloons that are in the sky. Maybe you hear that. But other than that, this is what we see. This is the information we have. And then on top of that, we have the rockets from before.
Hang on. Would you like to see a video that goes higher and counters it and is an uninterrupted view?
Huh? Oh, how much higher? Tell me. I have a feeling, because we're not, because I wouldn't doubt it's supposed to go higher. Because it should go higher, especially if we're at the center. If we're at the center, that other rocket should go higher. 100%. Because it's not like some flat like cage where everything's level and everything's on the same. No, you've seen it. It's a dome. It's shaped like half a ball or hemisphere. Basically.
No, it ain't.
So
the dome is shaped like half a ball.
So I've got the video loaded up.
Half a ball, yeah, load it up. Basically, if there's another rocket that goes higher, no issue there.
Okay, so
I have no issue with it. The center would be the highest point, wherever the center is. I don't know.
But it doesn't stop, and it goes higher than you claim.
I don't know how high. Of course, I don't know how high this thing is.
No. You put a number at just
a few hundred miles high. A few hundred miles high.
Yeah, this goes higher than that.
Okay. Show me. I want to see.
I'm screen sharing to you right now.
Yeah, I'm watching. Go, play it.
Yeah, it's playing.
Because I don't know how high this thing is. But I'm giving an estimate.
Here we go. And we've got launch.
But you know it's not 3,000.
Do 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 do. I didn't know you were musically declined.
And by the
declined, I
way,
mean.
if the flat Earth map were even close to right, this would be launching from closer to 2/3 of the way out.
Well, I don't know how high does this thing go? That's what I'm wondering.
It's currently pretty high.
Yeah.
It's way above the clouds. I don't know the exact height, but you can.
Yeah, I can see it. I'm watching it. It's pretty high. I mean, if the camera's keeping up with it for a while, you know. Okay. And now it's starting to go sideways.
No.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Up.
Now it's starting to like kind of bend sideways.
It was still,
Yeah, you can see it right there in the video. It's starting to bend a little sideways.
Did
it? Hold on.
It is still gaining
Hold on.
altitude.
Did it? Hold on. Holy shit! Did it hit? I think it hit. Okay.
Wait, what?
I see what's going on. No. Look at it. It literally looks like it's rubbing against the dome. Rewind it. Rewind it a little. It looks like it's rubbing against the dome.
Like here? Are you saying that it looks like it's?
No. Like if you rewind it a little bit, like when you see it kind of curve, when you see it looks like it's kind of curving and stuff like that, it looks like it's pressing up against something.
Right here, right?
And you could see it wobble a little. You could even see it wobble a little, where it looks like it's pressing up against something.
It doesn't look like it's pressing up against something to me.
It looks like it just dropped a ton of mass.
Yeah, I know. I know what I see. Yeah, I see that. Look at it. It looks like it's wobbling, and it looks like it's rubbing up against it. Whether it is, I don't know. All I know is it went up and it curved a little to the side. Now, whether it's rubbing up against it, I'm not sure. But I'm not joking. It looks like it's rubbing up against it.
So...
I could be wrong.
This is going far higher than the previous rocket that...
Okay. How high?
I can't put an exact number on it, but it's a hell of a lot higher.
A few hundred. It has to be at least a few. Look, if we can keep up with it on a camera, it means it has to be minimum a few hundred miles. Because once you reach like 1,000, you're gonna need something stronger. Once you reach like 1,000 or something like that, you're gonna need something way stronger.
I mean, that is pretty high. I mean, you can see the curvature from up here. So, it's just more of this same shot. So, your claim about that is that it's rubbing up against the dome.
Yeah, it might be. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. But it kind of looked like it did. I was all like, wait, why is it wobble? No, because I was wondering. I'm all like, why is it kind of wobbling like that? What's going on? Because what I saw was simple. It went up straight and then eventually started turning. As for why it started turning, I don't know. But it eventually started turning and then it kept going straight.
Would you like to know the answer?
Huh?
Would you like to know the answer?
Oh, please don't tell me it's because of the spin of the Earth. Please don't tell me it's because of the spin of the Earth. What is it?
Oh. It's called orbital insertion.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. There's this whole thing about a target height, a target altitude that you want to reach. You don't want to overshoot that. Otherwise, what you're trying to put out there is not going to end up where you want.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now what does that have to do with the height of this?
That was
Which is-
the
which is-
turn.
What does no? But here's the question: what does this have to do with the height of it and how far it's going, etc.? Because right now it looks like it's a few hundred miles high, and that's not a joke. It looks like it's a few hundred miles high. It could be 4. You think it's 4 and 5? If that's what they're saying?
Between 4 and 500, yes.
Okay.
The vast majority of these deployments take place at an altitude higher than the ISS, and the ISS has been measured at just under 300 miles.
Okay, that's for this rocket, I can literally say, okay, maybe it is 400 to 500. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm gonna give it a few hundred miles high. I'll give it that. I don't mind. Doesn't bother me at all because I don't know how far the actual dome is. But like I said, based off the evidence, it's only a few hundred miles.
So
But-
is the moon?
As for the ISS, the ISS is only it's probably less than 11. Probably 11 or maybe less, or maybe like 15 miles high. That's about it.
I've got a question though.
No, it has been measured at over 200 miles.
I just had a debate with Red's Rhetoric, Fight the Flat Earth, and Team Skeptic.
Oh, then you'll know that it's over a few hundred. Then you should know that it's a few hundred miles high.
Me and those 3 guys had a long discussion about this. And Red Rhetoric promised me. He promised me his left nut.
Regurgitating the wrong information.
A what?
If you had that discussion with them, why are you still regurgitating the wrong information?
Because I have video evidence that says otherwise. If I didn't have video evidence that says otherwise, I would be like, either I don't know or they're telling the truth. But since I have video evidence...
Okay, hang on. At what size do triangles stop working?
I have no idea. Do not, trust me, don't get me in on this. No idea.
It is a really good question though. At what size do triangles stop working?
I have no idea.
Well, is there a size that is too big for a triangle to be active?
Is there? Oh God, he's gonna try and go to math. He's gonna do what Nikola Tesla said they're all doing. Yeah. Don't look. This is what.
At what point do the principles of trigonometry fail?
At what point? How do I say this?
And don't say it's just because when you feel like it.
No. When it can't be touchable. Because you can use trigonometry
so
on
everything
a tree.
everything has to be tangent. Everything has to be tangent.
You want to measure a building? Yeah, you can measure a really big building and probably get pretty darn accurate with how big it is. You want to measure a tree? Sure, beam, I guess. You want to measure car? You want to measure how far the moon is, how big it is, and all this stuff using trig, circular distances and all this stuff. Yeah, no, I'm not buying it. Sorry, not buying it. Why? Because if I didn't have video evidence showing otherwise, saying that the math basically it's saying no, because basically what the video is saying is that the math is wrong. That's what the video is showing.
Show it then. Show how the math is wrong.
Okay. Here. Hold on, give me a second.
Also, I do want to ask, at what height is this? It doesn't look to be this rocket here doesn't look to be all that high. It looks to be
it's if I'm correct,
20 kilometers.
About 70 miles, 80 miles, something like that. That's how high this one went. So, like I said, the more you go towards the center, the higher it's going to be. So right now, you guys showed me a video that is 400 to 500. So, okay, all right, that's information I can go off of. 400 to 500, that's fine by me. Because I never believed the whole 3000 stick. I thought the whole 3000 stuff was stupid. I'm just, but whatever. Hold on.
So you would deny. So you would deny a measurement that would give you a result of 240 something thousand miles to.
Yeah, the moon is only 11 to 40 miles high.
Why would you
Hold on, give me
deny
a
the
second.
measure?
Wait. Hold on. Can you please repeat what you just said?
I've said this before on other debates. The moon is only about 11 to 40 miles high. That's not far.
You do know commercial flights are around that altitude, right?
Yeah, I know. And what I mean by this, have you ever went missing out of nowhere?
Sorry, you cut out there.
Have you ever wondered why some planes go missing out of? Okay.
Technical failure.
I want you to imagine the sun being really low, like literally to the point where it could actually go under the clouds. Okay, that's how low it gets, the sun. Now I want you to imagine a pilot who thinks the Earth is a ball, going towards the direction of the sun, thinking it's like super far away. And then he slams into it. He dies, everyone else dies, everyone burns up, dead. And there, the plane's gone, the plane's missing. Where did they go?
So why doesn't that happen daily?
Why would that happen daily?
Because pilots aren't fucking... Sorry, I had to stop myself there. Breezeblock. I almost did something really bad on your channel.
Okay, hold on. Let me send this to you. Let me explain what I'm talking about.
All right.
The sun being only...
Hang on. I have a way to phrase it now. The reason why I asked why doesn't that happen every day is because pilots aren't the same type of mental midget that you are.
Okay, well, let's get back to the video planner walk. Grab the video.
Yeah, I got the video.
Yeah,
I'm still.
Why the moon is... I'm gonna explain and show why the moon is so low.
Okay. Is there a time code? Because this is a 30-minute video.
Okay. Yeah, it's a 30-minute. I'll give you the timestamp. Okay.
Oh!
Because first,
we've discussed this before, haven't we? Yep, I know exactly.
yeah, I know, but let me explain it to him, since unfortunately,
so
26 minutes. Start at 26 minutes.
26. There we go. 28 minutes. We've got this thing where he says
26.
Oh,
26.
I literally had it have it on the screen. So it's at the 25% speed. So
go back. No, go back a little bit. I want to go back a little bit. Go back. Because you're in the wrong spot. I want to like.
So he says that it's an high altitude balloon casting a shadow on the moon. And you do know what a silhouette is, right?
Yeah. I know. Me and freaking Craig had this long conversation about this, and I was like,
yeah,
I really don't care whether they think it's a silhouette or a shadow. Okay, so I'm gonna explain this real quick.
Wait. Real quick, just to make sure, can you explain the difference between a silhouette and a shadow?
The shadow is actually, the shadow. A silhouette is more like, how do I say this? More like a reflection of yourself than anything. But let me explain the video. Go back to the video. Go to 26 minutes.
Sorry, I don't need your explanation if you can't even explain that.
Just go to 26 minutes, Planner One. Okay. Start at 26 minutes. Because I'm watching from here.
Yeah, well, here we go. Yeah, 26 minutes, and I've got the ISS making its way across the moon. And then we've got...
yeah, right here. You could start right here. Okay, right here. Here's the video. This is Reg Rhetoric's video. Thank God he made this, because this is great. Okay, so right here we have, it's supposedly the ISS. Whether it is or not, I'm not 100% sure, but that's the ISS passing by the moon, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was the ISS passing by the moon.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. Now, I'm going to ask this simple question. Go back to the video, go back to the ISS real quick.
Yeah.
I want everyone to look at it. Did the ISS cast a shadow on the moon?
No.
Cast anything on the moon?
No.
In that video. Okay. So it didn't cast anything. All right. Now, right here, I have a satellite balloon passing by the moon. Okay? Like, if you go past this, there is a literal satellite balloon passing by the moon.
How did you confirm that's what it was?
Is it really a question? I mean, there's
Yes.
several videos on this already.
That's an
There's several
important.
videos.
That's a very important question. How did you confirm that it was a satellite balloon?
Because of its shape, the way it looks, the way it's set up. So that's a satellite balloon passing by the moon. Okay.
So how did you confirm that it was a satellite balloon?
Because anyone can look into this real easily. They send up multiple satellite balloons all over the place. So let me explain, okay? It's real simple. The satellite balloon is casting a shadow on the moon. It's literally on video. The satellite balloon is casting a shadow on the moon. It's literally on video. What does that mean? That means the satellite balloon is closer than the ISS. So that means, how far is the moon? Well, let's find out how high these balloons go.
So I disagree that it's a satellite balloon.
Okay, you disagree, but
it looks like balloons.
Let me explain.
It looks like 3 balloons.
The balloon goes about 11 miles high to 40 miles high. So we at least have an estimate for how high the moon is, 11 to 40 miles. And
Here's
that's about
here's
it.
a question for you. Would you prefer to continue to deal in estimates that you pull out your ass, or would you rather go with hard data that can actually be repeated and is actual measurement?
Sorry, I'm not a fan of math or science anymore. I'm not a fan of math or science anymore.
You're not a fan of actual information? You're not a fan of pulling your head out of your ass and not being such a disgusting, blatant fucking liar about this shit?
So this video's a lie.
Really?
This video's a lie.
No. Your analysis of it is.
Oh, so my analysis is a lie.
Well, I'd say his
so what's
analysis
going on
is
here?
wrong.
No. What's going on here? Explain.
What was caught was the LRO, the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, which, yes, is in orbit of the moon. So when the LRO goes between the sun and the moon, guess what's going to happen? It's going to cast a shadow on the moon, because that's what a shadow is. A shadow is the occluded portion of light that happens when an object is between the light source and target. What a silhouette is when that target is between the observer and the light source. So, yeah, you couldn't even explain that right, and you want me to accept your analysis of the footage? Eat a dick.
Okay, prove it. Prove what you just said. And I'm not talking about the whole shadow thing. I'm talking about prove it.
Prove
what you think that is. Prove it. No. Prove what you think that is. Everything is pointing to the fact that that's a satellite balloon. That's the reality. Everything is pointing to the fact that that is a satellite balloon.
Measurement of the distance to the moon. Let's start with actual data. Let's start with actual
you can't measure the distance to the moon. Unless you actually send something up there yourself, you can't measure it. And guess what?
So radar ranging is not a thing that can be done? Laser ranging isn't a thing that can be done?
A lot of the stuff that now that I looked into it, like someone talked about the radio waves, and he says it's...
Yeah, that was me, motherfucker.
It wasn't just you. So many, because I've been in other debates. So many people have brought this up, and I'm just like, okay, it's inaccurate. I've come to that conclusion. Like, a lot of the stuff that we think is real isn't. And here's how I know that it's inaccurate. Here, I'll give you an example of how you guys think. Let me give you an example.
No. Let's start at basic principle. How is radar ranging inaccurate?
Well, how can it be accurate? That's the question. How can you measure the distance to the moon and back with radio?
You want to know how? Here's
with
how
radio.
radar.
When we struggle. Look,
Shut
we struggle
the
with
fuck up
signals
and listen.
downhill.
Shut up and listen.
All right.
The way
Let's hear what you
radar
gotta say.
ranging works is you send out a pulse and then you get the return. Well, guess what? That means it had to go out and back. That's double the distance. You know the amount of time between when you emitted your pulse and when you got the reflection. So cut that time in half. You have your speed. You have a known time. Guess what you can figure out? The fucking distance.
Yeah, sorry. Here's why. Here's why it's completely inaccurate. Because unfortunately, we struggle here alone. I'm just going to be honest. You're telling me it can go 250,000 miles away, basically. No, not buying it.
Are
We
they?
struggle with signal here on our damn cell phones. We struggle with signal here, even in radio. Like, even right here with Discord, there are moments where I cut out. So you're gonna tell me it's gonna go 250,000 miles? Sorry.
So
Not
because
buying it. You want to make a certain distance? Sure. You want to say it bounces from tower to tower to tower? Sure. Be my guest. I can buy that. Yeah, I know it bounces from tower to tower to tower.
So because
there's a
Discord
limit.
can't, so because we have trouble sending complex information along, it means that we can't send a very simple signal to the moon and back. Got it. Even though when I send that signal out, I can actually be like, okay, I want it to have like, I want it to be beep, 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 and I'll get a signal back which won't be exactly beep, 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 beep. It'll be more like.
Yeah, look, to me, it's no-brainer. To me, this is a no-brainer.
Okay, why am I?
I mean,
Okay, why am I getting that signal back?
oh, it's simple. I mean, think about the towers we have.
So
Think about the every few miles. Whether you guys want to believe this or not, every few miles there's like a tower.
So-
There's a tower somewhere.
What power and frequency do cell phones operate?
Oh, I don't even know. No, that I don't know.
So you're trying to discredit something that you admit to know fuck all about. And why should we believe?
It wouldn't matter because you're gonna tell me your cell phone signal never drops. You're gonna tell me your cell phone signal is perfect,
No.
flawless.
I
No,
understand the limits and the
That- that-
differences between a radar pulse and a data signal from my phone.
yeah.
Vastly different frequency ranges they're operating in, and vastly different power ranges they're operating in. Oh, it's almost like that shit matters to signal propagation.
Yeah. I told you, it's a huge issue because there's a difference between here and the moon.
It's an issue because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
No, there's a huge issue. There's a difference between a freaking radio signal tower where you can reach. They even admit it. You can go a few miles. But then afterwards, it has to bounce from a different radio tower. It has to bounce off of a different radio tower. It has to.
So what if what if this experiment is performed out in the middle of nowhere where you can't get any signal?
No, where you can't get any signal?
Yeah.
No. That depends. How far is the radio? How far is the closest radio tower? You'd have to be pretty far from it.
Like
I don't know how
it's
far.
like if you can't get signal on your phone.
If I can't get a signal on my phone?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know how far I would have to go to not get signal. No idea.
You're certainly.
It's not like I live in the mountains or anything. You know, I live in like a city area.
Okay. But okay. So okay, this
Because
is
I'm pretty sure people in the mountains don't have great signal all the time, at least. Anyway.
But I do have a better argument than that. My better argument would be that there are people that would point their. Why is it that when they point their they point the receiver at the sky, right? They get nothing, right? Point it at the moon, and then they have a noise floor. They send signal out to the moon, they get signal back. They send signal out to the sky, they don't get any signal back. Why?
Okay. Let's assume this. I want you to just assume this right now. Let's assume what I was saying is true, okay? Since I know you guys it's on video, but you guys don't want to believe me. The moon is 11 to 40 miles high. Just assume it right now. And let's assume that you shoot a radio signal at a moon, and you get something back. Okay, now question. What is the moon made of?
I'd say that it's made of
Immaterial.
What is the moon made of?
a material.
I promise you, not a single one of you. I'm going to tell you this right now. Not a single one of you know. I don't even know. No one knows. Not a single one of us knows what the moon is made of.
I already gave you the answer. What it's made of is immaterial.
No, you're making an assumption. Unless you walk on the damn thing and bring me a piece of it, then guess what? You're making an assumption. Not a single.
I have held a piece of it. I have analyzed it.
Holy.
No.
It is made of roughly the same material as the Earth.
No. Okay. Look, I'm not going to believe you. NASA freaking came back with wood. With freaking petrified wood saying it's moon rock. Sorry.
Well,
not
no,
buying
it's
it.
not fucking wood.
Unless you guys
It's not
go
fucking
up there
wood. I've
yourself.
analyzed it. I've done X-ray analysis
unless you
of
guys
the material.
go up there
It is
yourself.
not made of fucking wood.
Go up there yourself and check it for yourself. If you can, okay, then you won't know. See, I'm okay with saying I don't know what the moon is made of. You're not. You're not. But I'm telling you this right now. Not a single one of you knows what the moon is made of. You guys don't know what the moon or sun is made of. You're making an assumption.
Here's the thing, idiot. Here's the thing, idiot. What you believe, I could give a fuck less.
This isn't what I believe. This is a fact. You don't know what the moon is made of. Make a guess all you want, but you haven't been there for yourself.
Oh no.
So-
When it comes to ranging it, ranging the distance to the moon, what it is made of is immaterial. It doesn't fucking matter.
So, I actually wonder why he thinks that it matters what the. I'd like to hear why he thinks that it matters what the moon is made of.
He's going with the fallacious argument of essentially the genetic fallacy. You don't know what it is. You don't know. You haven't been there. You can't say anything about it. It's a fallacious
No, you can
argument.
say whatever you want, but I'm going to leave it at an assumption. I'm going to leave it as maybe.
Okay, so
No,
how?
I made no assumption. I made no assumption about the
Really?
material.
Really? You sure? You sure you want to go down this route? You sure you want to go down this route? Hey, everyone in the chat. Everyone in the chat. He makes no assumptions. Okay. Now I'm going to ask him a simple question.
No.
No. I'm going to ask him a simple question. No.
Let's 82 finish.
I want you to not make an assumption about this. I want you to prove that the core of the Earth exists, and I want you to prove it. I want you to dig.
Oh,
Sorry, Planner Walk. I had to do that for a second because no, I will repeat my phrase exactly yet again. I made no assumption about what the moon is made of when determining the range to it.
Yes, you did.
Didn't.
Yeah, I know you did.
I didn't.
Yes, you did. Because Red Rhetoric did the same thing.
No. Every time you brought up what the moon is made of, what was my answer? What did I tell you? Let's hear.
What, immaterial?
Yeah, which means it doesn't fucking matter.
So what does Skip do? Why is it this? Why does it matter what the Earth is made of when determining the range?
Oh, when determining the range, it's real simple. You either send something up to go check and find out, or you don't know. Now, your choice is to believe in NASA and believe that they actually went, or to try and do it yourself.
So we
try to get whatever information you can, whatever video evidence you can, whatever picture evidence you can. You know, try and get something on your own. Don't use NASA.
So we actually
NASA has been proven to be
that myself and a bunch of other ham operators have actually conducted on a rather consistent basis.
So hold up.
It doesn't matter what the moon's made of. It's solid. It could be glass. It reflects radio waves. Simple as. I've done it. I've done EME. I point my beam antenna at the moon and I get the signal noise level goes up. I point it away from the moon, it disappears. I send Morse code to the moon and 2 seconds later it comes back.
Yeah. Now, tell me, what does... Here, let me explain this. Okay, so...
No, you can't explain it because you don't know anything about it.
No. Think about it. You don't know what it's made of. So since you
it
don't know what it's made of...
what it's made of. It's solid.
You don't know if it could send the signal back.
It reflects radio waves. It has been demonstrated hundreds and hundreds of times. I've done it. I expect Jared's done it.
I'm not
Skydog's done it.
The whole radio wave thing. I'm not even saying that.
You know nothing about radio, so shut the fuck up.
I'm not saying the signal's not freaking, sending back a radio wave. When did I say that?
You don't know nothing about it, so shut up.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. The moon is solid. It reflects radio waves. You point a fucking beam at it, your radio wave will come back 2 seconds later.
What is the moon made of?
It doesn't matter. It's solid.
Reflect radio waves? Is what the moon made of reflect radio waves? Sounds like it can,
It
right?
does reflect radio waves, though.
Okay, so what is it made of? What is the moon made of?
It doesn't matter. So I'll try and explain this as succinctly as I can. Hold up, let me explain to you.
You guys are the ones who believe NASA. So what you're saying is that it doesn't matter what it's made of.
Hold up.
That means
What has NASA got to do with it?
Hold up.
No. Listen to where I'm going to go with this. Listen to where I'm going to go with this.
Skeptic.
Basically, what you're saying is because you guys seem to say you trust NASA and this and that, blah blah blah.
No, we don't trust NASA. NASA's got
Wait,
nothing
what?
to do with EME.
I've just muted everyone. So
No.
Hold up.
Listen, finish listening.
Hold up. I'm gonna quieten everyone. Myself. Just Okay. So, AB, when you muted everyone, you actually muted them on your end, not my end.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So the point that I'm going to make is that I've got a couple of points. So the point is that whatever it's made of doesn't matter. We know that it reflects radio waves, right? We can say that it reflects radio waves. What it's made of does not matter. It's still true that it reflects radio waves.
Yeah, I know. Here's where the issue comes in. Can you reflect radio waves off a tree?
Yes,
you can.
Can you reflect radio waves off the ground?
Yes,
you can.
Can you reflect radio waves off of water?
You can reflect radio waves off the ionosphere.
Basically, what can you reflect radio waves? If you can reflect radio waves off of anything, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how radar works.
Okay, then holy hell. Then if you can reflect radio waves off of anything, then it doesn't matter.
Do you remember the times when we had analog television?
What the moon does?
And a lorry would drive by.
Sorry.
And your TV picture would go all wobbly and funny. That's because the radio waves from the TV transmitter were coming directly to your antenna and also reflecting off of the lorry that was going by. That's how they discovered radar.
Skeptic, can I just remind you that you just said that it doesn't matter what the moon is made of, right?
No, because you guys are bringing up radio waves. And now you're telling me radio waves can bounce off of anything.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
Okay, then it doesn't matter what the moon is made of.
No, it doesn't.
Exactly.
Holy shit! Holy shit!
Fucking
point
we've been making.
It doesn't matter what the moon is made of. Okay.
Precisely. It doesn't matter what the moon is made of. So a ranging experiment will tell you the distance, regardless of what it's made of.
No. The distance. The distance. You have to send something up.
No, you don't. Oh, actually, yes, you do have to send something up. What you send is a signal, and you get the signal back, and it tells you how long it took.
Sorry, I'm not buying the whole signal thing. You need to actually send something up.
Well, you don't actually know anything about radio. What Planar Walk said earlier about sending your signal up, if you send Morse code up to the moon and it goes beep, 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 when it comes back 2.3 seconds later, it comes back as...
Yeah.
Because the moon has got a rough surface.
You need to understand, getting the signal doesn't mean anything to me now. Because you just told me it can bounce off anything, so it's like, okay, if it can bounce off, then the signal doesn't mean anything.
Okay, so
it doesn't mean anything.
Basically, what you're saying is the signal doesn't. If you're saying it can bounce off anything, that means the signal doesn't mean anything. It's
okay,
not a joke.
so what is it bouncing off?
Signal doesn't mean jack shit. That means using it to measure really won't do anything.
Okay,
Sorry.
Skeptic. What you just said, right? It bounces off anything. So, if I fire a radio signal at a tree, right, it bounces off that. We're agreed on that. It doesn't matter what we're sending signals at. You know, if it can reflect, it reflects. So, if I bounce it at a tree and I detect the signal coming back, right? What is the thing that we are interested in this situation to determine how far that tree is from us?
Yeah. Depending on how far the tree is, of course, duh.
You misunderstood the question.
Look, listen to what I'm going to say. Basically, what I'm saying is, if the tree's close by, sure, get a signal all you want. But if you're going to tell me you can send a signal 250,000 miles away, not
it's
buying
not
it.
about the question of whether you can send a signal. No,
Because
what
it's
is
been
happening,
it's
right?
been
What is
proven.
the delay, right? We are interested in the amount of time between us sending the signal and receiving the reflections, right? So if we have a tree, say 10 meters away, right, we receive it in some amount of time after we've sent the signal. Now, if we have a tree 100 meters away, then the time between us sending the signal and receiving it is going to be 10 times that.
3 milliseconds.
Yeah, your issue is your assumption is the radio waves can actually go 250,000 miles. That's your assumption.
No,
it
that's
works.
not
There's no assumption. It
fact.
works.
That is a
I've done
fundamental law of the universe.
Sorry, because if you're telling me the moon can pretty much bounce off of anything, and look, I'm already telling you the moon is 11 to 40 miles high. It's on video. Then sending a radio signal to something 11 miles high, maybe even less than that. Even less than that sometimes.
It takes 2.3 seconds for your signal to get from your transmitter
That's
and
not
to come
hard.
back.
So,
we're talking about something
2.3 seconds. If something was 11 miles away,
if it's 11 miles high, that's not even a big deal to me. It's like it's whatever now.
Here's the
It doesn't
problem.
matter about what you think. This has to do with the speed of light.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Radio waves are just light that have been stretched out.
This is the speed of light we're talking about. This is a fundamental constant. This is a pretty fucking important thing.
Did you say the speed of light is constant?
Yes.
Well,
No.
That's why radar works.
No.
That's why we can drop artillery on enemy
These studies
positions.
on the speed of light not being constant.
what?
That it
right,
changes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was
Entertain me.
there's a little post on Harvard University.
Okay, I'm
Speed of light's
going.
not constant.
I'm going to mute Gary IO and 82 here just to have this. And I'm going to mute myself just so that I can see where this goes.
All right. What study?
Oh, I remember there was a study on this. I'd probably have to look it up again, but I remember. I think it was not just me, but I think also Kent Hovind showed it, where it's like Harvard. Oh, speed of light is not a constant. It changed, and I'm just like, okay. And this isn't new. You can look at this in newspapers from like 1960, 1950, like back in the day. You'll read reports: speed of light not a constant. Speed of light not a constant. Speed of light not a constant. Speed of light. So it's like, okay, everyone's saying it's not a constant. All right, then.
So
It's most likely not a constant.
There have been some experiments which have shown that the speed of light in a vacuum, right? That there has been some stuff that it appears to travel at different speeds through a vacuum. But you know what all those experiments have in common?
No, let me hear.
A fault in the detectors.
Mm-hmm. I'm listening.
Do you understand what the implications would be if the speed of light in a vacuum were different?
Well, I don't believe in the vacuum, so
You don't.
why would I believe? I don't believe in outer space, so there's no vacuum. Because if there was a vacuum, it would rip all the atmosphere off, and we'd all die.
Well, that's fundamentally incorrect as well. But okay.
Word. As far as I'm concerned, with a simple straw, sucking on a straw, I beat gravity. With a simple straw and water, I beat gravity. Going like this.
Okay. Try and make a straw which is 11, let's say 12 meters long, right? And then try and do it.
Okay, let's try this one. Try and get a ball of dust in the middle of space, and then I want you to add a gigantic vacuum cleaner that's bigger than all of it, and that ball is just a piece of dust. Yeah, that's basically what the Earth is to you guys. It's a little fleck of dust, and outer space is a giant ass vacuum.
Okay.
So yeah, trust me, the vacuum is gonna win. The vacuum is going to win because guess what? If I'm correct, in the UK, I think it's in Europe, UK, I forgot where it was, they do a little vacuum, the steel rail vacuum. Have you ever seen it? Where they get a steel rail car and they vacuum it out and the thing just completely crushes. It's completely crushed. So guess what?
Fun stuff,
no, I don't buy it.
I create higher vacuums in my lab all the time. It's not a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have vacuums in your lab.
Oh yeah, I have something called high vacuum equipment, right? I achieve vacuums which are, some of the highest vacuums in the world. And you know what separates those areas between the atmosphere? A piece of glass which is not even an inch thick.
Ooh, that sounds very good. Thank you for letting me know that. Because on my model, the dome is made out of glass and sapphire. So
it's made out of sapphire, right? That's interesting. So the reflectivity of sapphire and glass. Oh, that is quite interesting. You know what would happen? We would boil alive.
No, we wouldn't.
Yeah, seriously. The power output of the sun. Yeah.
You know the power output of the sun?
Oh yeah, it's quite easily measurable. You can easily measure it.
Oh, sorry, another assumption. I'm hearing another assumption.
You can verify this. If the Earth is flat and in your model, you can very easily measure the power output of the sun if you know the height of it. And whatever height you claim, I can run the calculations. I can perform the measurements and conclude that the power output will take some certain value. And trust me, it's not going to work for your model because the Earth would be really, really fucking hot.
Yeah, sorry. Not buying it. I don't even know this. Like, no one even knows the size of the sun. No one even knows. Well, I don't even know the size of the sun on my model.
You can measure it on your model. You can measure the diameter of the sun. And if you give a statement as to how high it is, no, fuck it. It doesn't even matter. You don't need to give a statement as to how high it is. You can measure how high it is. You can use really simple trigonometry to measure the height of the sun if your model is correct.
Red Rhetoric tried to do the whole trigonometry thing, and it failed. He tried to do the whole trigonometry, and he showed me his video.
It failed because your model is incorrect.
This is why, like, nowadays, like, ever since I found out, like, kind of about the truth, this is why I hate math. I hate science. I hate, like, I'm not even a fan of technology, even though I have to use it right now. I'm not even to use it. Like, I wish I could get rid of so much of it, but whatever.
You don't have to use it.
Because it's how do I say this? It's become so apparent because if you actually study a history and actually look at where we got our knowledge, it becomes very obvious that it's like, okay, I know where this is leading. But since you guys don't believe in, you guys don't believe in actual history. You guys believe in some made-up history. But whatever. Either way.
Yeah, you can keep rambling on about that, but
that is a wonderful assumption about what I do and do not think. Can you tell me what number am I thinking right now?
Huh? What? I didn't even hear you.
You seem to have this wonderful power of prescience to where you know what I'm thinking.
I don't know what you're thinking.
So what number am I thinking?
No, I don't know what you're thinking.
Then why did you claim to know what I would assert?
Huh? Here's why. Because after, several debates, you start to realize that it becomes like a repetition and people repeat the same things.
Wrong.
And people, they do. It's true. They kind of repeat the same thing.
Okay, do you want to...
Every once in a while, I'll run into something different every once in a while, but for the most part, you run into the same.
Skeptic.
You should stop it.
Skeptic, do you want me to tell you... I just want to say something. Skeptic, do you want to know why I think people say the same things to you?
Why?
Because you keep on bringing up the same debunked points time and time again. Like,
and you keep bringing up assumptions.
Like you...
He says he can measure. It's like you guys
believe in math.
You don't know. Here, you don't know what the sun is made of. But I've heard people literally come up to me in the days and have told me what the sun is made of. They don't know what the sun is made of. They're making an assumption.
We do.
No,
we do know
you
what the sun is made of. We can
bring me a piece of it. Bring me a piece of the sun. Exactly, you can't. So you're making an assumption. You don't know what it's based. Just like here, I'll give you an example. You guys think bats use radar, right? You guys think bats use radar?
Never heard of absorption
Bats
lines.
don't use radar.
No. There's a whole documentary on this. Bats use radar, sentry, all this other crap, right?
Use radar.
What if I told you all of that was bullshit, and all they do is bats have eyes and they see, and they're not blind, and
They use echolocation, not radar.
Bats use.
Hey, Skeptic, as you don't believe in maths and science and so on, can I employ you?
What?
Hang on a second.
Can I employ you? You don't believe in maths, right? I'd like to employ you.
Let's just say I'm not a fan anymore of technology, science, and math.
So you could work 40 hours a week for me, and I'll give you a tenner, because that's math. Do you believe in math?
Yeah, I do. I'm not a fan of it, though. I'm not a fan of it anymore.
You won't object if I pay you £10 for a 40-hour week because you're not a fan of it. How's that sound?
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean that you don't understand math.
No, here's why I don't like math or science or like all these things. Because the history books literally said we were never designed to learn all this crap. We were never designed to learn how to make laptops.
Citation needed.
Citation needed. If you're going to say it literally said that, fucking citation needed.
Get in.
Like,
Okay.
So, do you want to know what I'm hearing from you, Skeptic? What I'm hearing is that the Bible doesn't agree with maths or science, so therefore I don't like it. That's what I'm hearing from you.
No. It's actually the exact opposite. It's really the exact opposite.
The value of pi is 3.
Well, you guys said you wanted a citation for why I said like we were never supposed to learn any of this bullshit. Okay.
Yes, we would like to see.
We would love a citation
for that citation.
Was it Enoch? Or is it?
Wait. That literally proved my point.
Jesus Christ.
You're literally proving my point here, Skeptic. By the way, Gary, I am going to just move you to another voice room because it is getting a little bit shouty and all that in here, so I'm going to limit. If you don't mind, Gary.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
All right, so I don't want to call you Skeptic because you're not one. So I'm going to go with the end of your YouTube channel. Okay, idiot. Here's the thing. What you said before about not liking math, not liking science, not liking technology, but you tolerate it.
I have to.
Here's the thing. No. This is listen time. If you really don't like all that stuff, nothing is stopping you from moving and living in a different area where you don't have to use any of that stuff. You have that opportunity to you. If you really feel that way, if you genuinely feel that way, I suggest you take that opportunity.
No, because it's going to spread throughout the whole earth. It doesn't matter. And we all know this. All the technology, all this stuff, it's spreading throughout the whole earth. Slowly.
And that is why there are people still in Canada, the Great Plains of the U.S., in Alaska. There are a lot of areas just within the U.S. and Canada that do not have access to what you are scared of. And it's been that way for hundreds of years. It's been that way. So what's your problem? What is actually stopping you? You want to know what's actually stopping you? You don't actually believe any of this. You don't actually believe the nonsense that you have been spewing.
No, I told you. Let me explain. Because I just wanted to let you guys talk. But I'm gonna explain why I don't like science, math, like a whole lot of this other crap. The reason why is because all our technology, all the stuff that we're learning, it comes from the Watchers, and it's in ancient.
The who?
The Watchers.
Citation, please.
Who the hell are the Watchers?
Okay. All right, let me explain. This is an ancient text, but I already know you guys won't believe it anyway. Basically, what happens is the human race used to live pretty simple. Like, they weren't stupid or anything. They had houses and stuff like that, but they didn't live like with large amounts of technology or anything like that. It was pretty simple, okay? basically what happens is the Watchers are basically the angels. Okay? The angels came down, and they started teaching the human race how to make technology. And it's in the text. It's in the Book of Enoch, chapter 8.
Okay, so I'm going to just stop you there. So the reason why I'm going to disagree with this is I'm going to just basically disagree with the whole story, because you're basically using a book that doesn't... You're treating a book as though it's history. Like, by the way, have you been to King's Cross Station? Have you been to King's Cross Station?
What the hell's that?
It's a station in England.
Train station from Harry Potter.
Oh, it's an actual train station. You can basically just you go to it in England, and you basically find platform 9, and you use your trolley, and you just run straight into the wall. And I guarantee you that you'll end up in Hogwarts, because a book called Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone says so.
Just be quiet and listen to the story. Be quiet.
How about this? How about you stop regurgitating Ancient Aliens?
No, Ancient Aliens has their own agenda. I don't. I'm taking it for what
it's worth. And it's the same nonsense that you just started spewing.
You are using, right? Just really highlight, because
let me ask this question.
They're all too desensitized to the batshit craziness. You are using
let me ask this question
as a reference. And you have to remember that when they compiled the New Testament, they decided, nah, let's not include that one, because that is just too fucking batshit crazy.
No. So let me ask you a question, okay? This is for everyone in the chat too. Do you think your textbooks are telling your science textbooks? Do you think they're 100% accurate?
No.
I think they're as accurate as we can try to make them.
I promise you. Like, besides the fact that Ken Hogan destroyed like 30 to 40% of it.
No, he hasn't.
You add flat Earth into that, it's pretty much like 90% of it is down the drain.
You know that even Ken Hogan...
I was about to say that.
Those science textbooks that you guys talk about are full of lies, and you want to know how I know they're full of lies?
Okay. So
hold on. I actually want to hear how he knows that they're full of lies, real quick.
Okay.
I just want to point out, idiot, Hovind laughs at you. Even Hovind laughs at you.
Let him do what he's doing. Let him do what he's doing. Okay? I don't care. All right? But like I was saying, your textbooks are just bad shit. Like, the majority of what's in those textbooks is complete bullshit. Let's start off with the first one. In science textbooks, which I remember going to school with, it talks about, let's start off with this one, the core of the Earth. The core of the Earth supposedly exists. Can any of you actually prove it? That's the first one. That's the first lie in the textbook.
Seismology.
The core of the Earth. Okay, so since you cannot prove the core of the Earth,
I didn't say that I can't
prove the core of the Earth exists. Guess what? That means gravity goes out the window.
So no. Hold up. We're jumping ahead. So first off,
hang on.
So that's what's holding the moon in place.
For a bit.
But you can't even prove the core. That's already 3 issues.
Hold up.
And all I did was talk about the core of the Earth.
This is my last question.
Okay, skip that. Let 82 speak.
There. So, Skeptic, I really want you to listen to this question and answer it, because it is a simple yes or no answer. That's it. All you need to respond with when you're unmuted is one word, yes or no. Can you support what you're saying without using a fallacious argument?
I'm using common sense.
Holy fuck, you didn't even wait until you were unmuted. Is it possible for you to support your position and not use a fallacious argument?
What do you mean a fallacious argument? What fallacious argument?
Your logic is flawed.
You're using personal incredulity.
So you're saying the core of the Earth exists?
No, he used a non sequitur most recently, saying, well, since you can't go to the core of the Earth, you have to throw out gravity. That's not how it works.
Yeah, if you can't prove the core, guess what? Gravity is an assumption now.
So seismology is a lie.
Oh, when did I say seismology is a lie? Seismology proves that the Earth... What does seismology prove? That the Earth shakes and moves.
Seismology proves that the Earth has a core.
Anything about the core of the Earth? Want to know how we know about the core of the Earth?
Seismology.
Want to know how we know about the core of the Earth? Want to know how we know about the core of the Earth?
Please,
seismology.
No, it does not prove the core of the Earth. I'm telling you this
Why?
right now. There is no radar scan that can go down 4,000 miles.
So seismology is radar?
There is no scan that can go down 4,000 miles. And on top of that, we all know how scans work.
You know what seismology is?
When the Earth shakes, you look at the
So
movement.
I just want to jump in here.
What they say they do is they create a picture for what is under the Earth. Okay? That's what they say they do. But when you actually look at it, that's not really the case. Sorry. Because you can't really dig that deep far under the Earth. Look, unless you're going to go down 4,000 miles, I'm not buying it.
So Skeptic, first off, I want to say that if you're going to if you're going to talk about stuff like say that seismology doesn't prove the core of the Earth, first you should know what it's actually using. It's not using radar. It's using, there's different ways that it uses, like S waves, P waves, PP waves, and all that kind of stuff. You should at least know that.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
how do you get those waves?
You get them from
earthquakes.
Yeah, earthquakes.
Yeah, and then what happens?
There are shadows. There are pockets that don't pick
exactly
up.
Radar.
No.
So hold up.
You dumb fuck.
Let me ask. So first off, it's not radar. Radar uses radio waves, not sound waves. Secondly, let me ask you a question. If there is a sufficiently large enough earthquake, can you detect it anywhere on Earth?
Can I detect it anywhere on Earth?
Yes.
If I can't feel it, I can't. If I can't feel it, I can't detect it. Maybe they can, but I sure as hell can.
It's almost like there are instruments for this kind of shit. You know, actual quantifiable data.
Yeah, here's the issue. Look, the Earth moving does not prove a core.
So first off, they can detect earthquakes anywhere on Earth.
If you think the Earth moving can prove a core, you're insane. That'd be like if I shake my bed and I say, hey, look, there's a giant ball of molten lava under it. No, it's an assumption. Stop. Just stop. Just admit you can't prove it.
So I can shake my bed and realize that two of the legs are longer than another one. That's something that I can do. I don't have to check that. I don't have to check that a leg is longer than the other one. I can just check that the two legs.
When you guys find that 4,000 mile hole in the Earth, you let me know, okay?
So
I'll literally take a phone tablet to it. Okay, and go down. All right. Until then, no.
So when it comes to, I'm just going to modify everyone's volume because
so right here, I already got 3 things that the textbook talks about that are completely wrong. I already got 3 things in the textbooks that
you don't even have the first thing.
It's completely wrong because you can't even prove the core, which means guess what?
We can use seismology to show that there is a core.
Does not make you right. Your denial does not make you right.
No.
Yes, just because you don't like it or you don't understand it doesn't mean
It has nothing to do with I don't understand. This has everything with the fact that
yes, you have demonstrated that you don't understand.
This is the reality of everyone. Anyone in the chat, you think you can prove the core of the Earth exists? Go dig 4,000 miles. To everyone in the chat, do it right now. Go dig 4,000 miles. Tell me the core exists. Prove it.
Seismology shows that the core exists.
Let's be more specific. Let's see if this guy actually lives up to his Discord name. Hey, idiot, do you know who Inge Lehmann is?
The hell's that?
Thank you. That's what I thought.
I don't need to know who that is. What does that have to do? Tell me, what does that have to do with anything?
Look up the name Inge Lehmann, and you will find out why the name is
No.
important.
Tell me.
No, you.
Okay,
No, you
okay,
are
who's
skeptic.
the Gust of Picard?
No.
Picard?
You're using the title
Who's the
skeptic.
Gust of
You're
Picard?
using the name skeptic. Go do your research.
Who's Augusta Picard?
What?
Exactly. You don't know.
Actually, no, I know.
The name that I don't know and call him because I don't know a name. Just because I don't know someone's name, I don't know what everyone's name.
Holy fuck. August Picard is the guy that actually gets really misquoted because people claim, oh, he saw that the horizon stayed flat and at eye level, even at high elevation. You want to know what else August Picard is known for? Almost dying due to oxygen deprivation.
Yeah. Google. Google.
So,
I prefer academic resources, not Google.
So, 82. Do you? Oh,
Yeah,
I
remember
don't. I'll admit I don't know who Inge Lehmann. Did you say?
Inge Lehmann was one of the foundational and amazing female scientists studying seismology who actually used her data and her analysis to demonstrate that the Earth has
Sorry, you said women and technology and science. Oh, that makes me laugh.
Oh, are you a fucking misogynist? Well,
No. I'm not the truth is I'm not a misogynist. I just find it hilarious now that I know the truth about women. Whenever I hear like female science is this, female science.
okay, fuck you. All right, I kicked him out.
Yeah, deserve that one. Again, I really don't like it when denialists try to use the name skeptic. Because notice how I knew who Picard was. I also knew the issue with the misquote of Picard without even needing to look it up.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll admit, like, I didn't know who Inge Lehmann was, you know, but it's not like I'm going to.
Well, you also don't have skeptic in your name, and you're not denying the body of work that actually won her great notoriety in a time period when women were looked at as bad, if not worse, than that fuckstick was trying to do.
Just jumping in a second.
Yeah.
He's a MGTOW.
No, no, he's not MGTOW. He's an incel. There is a difference.
Oh, sorry, he claims to be a MGTOW.
No, he's an incel.
Anyway, I'm going to drop back out now.
Okay. You're welcome to stay. I'm gonna end up soon though. What was that? 82?
Well, in the meantime, I was going to say, Scythe DK sent me something, and yeah, actually, let's drag Scythe DK in. He has something that he wants to read off and explain. That we'll see how that goes.
Okay. Well, he's currently deafened. I'm assuming he's deafened because he's watching the stream. So, but yeah.
Give him a moment. He'll notice that he was dragged in, and should go ahead and fix that.
Yeah. There we go. You there?
I saw him light up, but I did not hear him.
Me neither. It keeps on lighting up, but nothing, no volume's coming through. So,
can you hear me now?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, sorry, my headset is broken for some reason. Yeah, just one thing. It's Inge. Her name is Inge Lehmann. She was from Denmark, and she discovered the second core in 1936.
Okay.
Yeah, and the thing that I sent actually goes very well with what the skeptic said. He said that the dome was made out of glass and sapphire, and that's actually impossible.
That's actually impossible.
Yeah, so
okay.
It's a basic little thing. So I teach physics from 7th grade and up. And when we start off in the physics room, we have a little demonstration. We have a small little beer or soda can. Put a little bit of water in that. We then boil the water so it gets into some mist. It then displaces all of the air inside that bottle or whatever. Then once all of the water has evaporated, you turn it upside down and then put it into some water, just so the opening is covered by water. Do you know what happens to the can?
What?
It gets crushed by the weight of the atmosphere.
Okay.
Because water vapor is it takes up like 500 times more space than normal air, so you get a partial vacuum in it. That demonstration shows that if something isn't specifically designed to house pressure, like a submarine, and if it's not made from the right materials, it will crush. And since we have an atmospheric gradient, I actually asked in the chat if he was denying that. As you all know, but as he might not know, the air gets thinner and thinner and thinner from 1 atmosphere down to basically 0. So if there's a dome up there, either there has to be a vacuum on the other side of it, because if there's water, like the Bible says, then it would eventually collapse the dome, and it would crush us.
Okay, well, I'm glad that the Earth isn't flat.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have video of it, but you can probably find it. I never recorded the demonstration when we showed it to our students, but they were pretty scared. I don't know if you've ever seen a soda can being crushed in like half a second. You can do it at home if you want. You just need a soda can and a stove and and a bowl of water.
I've only seen soda cans exploding because of vacuum.
It's not exploding, it's actually imploding. It gets crushed by the weight of the atmosphere on top.
Well, what's also interesting is even if you shake up a can of soda and if you open it while at depth on a submarine, it won't explode.
Have you seen surströmming? The fermented fish, where it's just right when the can starts bulging up.
I think I've heard about it.
Yeah, it's illegal to transport in planes.
Okay.
Yeah, because it'll rupture when you get at altitude. It's also for a while, if not even still today, there are certain models of cell phones that you're not supposed to take on a flight with you because of the risk of the batteries bursting into flames spontaneously. Don't you love lithium-ion batteries?
Well, I love carrying around a bomb in my pocket. But yeah, that's the whole soda kind of thing. That's basically just, I mean, it's a demonstration you show to 12 and 13-year-olds normally to get them to understand how pressure differentials work and how you can actually get crushed pretty quickly if you don't have the right container.
By the way,
I've heard multi-tom-toms or some of the others say that we can't have anything in space because we can't keep out that much pressure. But the difference between 1 atmosphere and basically 0 is nothing. And I know that, I think maybe 82 knows about submarines. How much pressure can they survive? Isn't it a bit more?
You the 82?
Well, I'm trying to remember. If I remember right, it's 1 atmosphere every 30 to 35 feet, depending on salinity.
I think it's something like that, but I think I did the calculation, and I think it's like a submarine can take 500 times more pressure than the ISS would need to be able to handle.
Well, yeah. Well, and here's the other thing that they often get wrong. In a submarine, when you go down to depth, you're dealing with external pressure, which is why we've gone to the full cylindrical teardrop hull. It really is, that curve really is the strongest at resisting that outward pressure to dissipate it so it doesn't collapse. The ISS, it has to hold in not even 1 atmosphere, 10 to 12 psi. That's it.
Yeah, and if you construct a dome, that is a good shape to keep out an outward pressure. But if you construct it out of sapphire and glass, that's not actually that good at keeping in a pressure.
But
And then I did hear skeptics say that he said that he knows that the dome is made out of glass and sapphire.
yeah.
Like sapphires. Isn't that great?
By the way, I'm going to go to Super Chat, so because we've got a few Super Chats that I haven't read out, and I'll actually turn on the thing again. There we go. Anyway, so Doranku says, Chat demands a dance, plan a walk, please us. And should I dance?
Go for it.
Okay.
Do you even have legs?
What?
Do you even have legs?
Of course I have legs.
CGI.
I'm not that good at dancing. Like last time I did a dance was for the Flat Earth Rewind video, and I did the Tobey Maguire. I think it's Tobey Maguire dance. You know the Spider-Man one where it's like.
Oh, you're also getting requested that it is full screen, not the little pissant camera in the corner.
Oh yeah. Let me just fix that up for a bit. Do. Oh wait, hold on. Give me a second. There we go. And I have no idea what I'm gonna do.
Just walk away like Mr. Krabs.
Do we need to get some
Crab dance like thing? What?
I was just wondering if we needed to get some stripper music going for you.
If you've got some royalty-free stripper music that isn't gonna strike the stream or anything, go for it.
I'm gonna head off Discord now. I just wanted to say that one thing. And then I can watch the stream as well because I'm on my phone.
Are we getting some stripper music on, or?
I'm not finding anything good at the moment, sorry.
Okay.
So go ahead and play something in your headset, whatever makes you happy, and then you can make the crowd happy, and who knows, it might get you more.
Apparently, I pleased. Apparently, the dance that I did can be used for photoshopping objects into my hands. So, apparently,
you fell for the trap.
Whilst I'm here, go ahead, use that for whatever. And that's my dance career over. If I ever had a dance career.
Oh, you know what, Dora? When you get done with that second clip, I have to see. Anyway. Ooh, looks like Mandevil has a limerick for you to read out too.
There once was an old man in Byron. He thought he'd give Flat Earth a try on. He ranted and he raved and he couldn't behave, and it made as much sense as a tired iron. That's quite good. Anyway, next super chat. David Oliver for £10 says, I'm built I think he means I've built my first diagonal house in Minecraft. It's a witch's house with a ritual circle and skeletons' heads with blood on the floor. Pretty stoked. And the Earth is a globe.
Gotta love that addition at the end.
And he also super chatted £2 saying, "This dude is as dense as the moon." I think he's talking about Skeptic.
No. Let's call him by his actual YouTube name.
Why you are an idiot. To be fair, like, I will often refer to people by the name that I see. Like, I was once talking with a person called Drew, but he had his name as his tag on Discord was, or his name on Discord was Cosmic Skeptic, apparently, right? And so I kept on accidentally calling him Cosmic Skeptic, even though his YouTube name is Genetically Modified Skeptic.
Oh.
I think you cut out there for a bit. You there, 82? Did I cut out? Was it? You there? I think 82 has died. That's always a shame. But yeah, that is one thing that happened a while back. I was talking to Genetically Modified Skeptic, or otherwise known. Probably should have just tried to refer to him as Drew rather than referring to him as his Discord tag. But his Discord thing was Cosmic Skeptic, apparently, and so I kept on calling him Cosmic Skeptic. Even though apparently he actually gets called American Cosmic Skeptic.
Because there's one from another nation?
What?
Is there one from another nation that I'm not aware of?
Well, Genetically Modified Skeptic is from America, and people say that he... Kind of like people say that I look like Heath, people say that he looks like Cosmic Skeptic.
Ah.
Yeah. And so he had changed his name to Cosmic Skeptic, apparently.
Oh, kind of like your Wolfie 3010?
Yeah. Pretty much exactly like that, so yeah. Although that's because of McFlatty.
Speaking of, I have a few of his videos to catch up on from this week.
Yeah. I haven't seen a few of his videos in a while, but yeah, I'll probably go ahead and give them a watch. Makes good content. Chinese stealing the fucking moon was gold. Anyway, I think that's about it for this stream. Actually, I don't say leave a like and subscribe anymore. It's kind of hard to break out of old habits, but yeah. Do leave comments letting me know what you'd like me to do for future streams. I do always like getting new ideas. It seems that we have started to run out of flirfs to debate, though, because we get the same ones every week, so you know, I need something different to do every week. So anyway, I will see you in the next stream. Between you and me, thank you for watching. Ah, shit. I should really improve my skills in piano. Maybe that's what I should be using lockdown for.
Just get an Asian adopted mom. She'll whip you into shape.